Rocky, go!
Welcome, Pfeifers, arriving. Welcome to the Pfeifers DD991 podcast. I'm Rocky, the birthday boy already. That's Gilly, Lil Tate, Thumper, and Delp the asshole are joining you today. We're going to talk about cryptids and other fucking shit. So let's enjoy and have fun. Who would like to begin?
Well, I think I'll start there, Rocky.
Hey, it's unedited start, buddy.
All right. The first one up for the day is a Mongo saga, a monster comes from town. Our journey begins in 1972 in a sleepy town, Louisiana, Missouri. Little did the residents know that their lives were about to be upside by a series of violent events that would threaten to cement their hometown's place in cryptid history. It all started with a terrifying scream from the Harrison family's backyard. 8-year-old Terry Harrison came running in the house, claiming he had seen something hairy, something 7 feet tall. Well, he might have saw Boswell. We don't know.
We do grow them in Iowa like that.
A creature with a foul odor looking near the edge. And his sister Doris peered. 15 peered out the window to confirm the sighting, added that the beast had a pumpkin hate shed and glowing eyes. I gotta take this off. Sorry.
It was Boswell with Hugel on his shoulders.
I had to
Pretty
take
much.
that off, man. That fucking voice was cracking me up too much.
I can barely understand it.
All right. But the news of the sightings hit the media. Louisiana found itself at the center of a cryptid frenzy. Monster hunters and curious seekers from all over the country descended upon the small town, hoping to catch a glimpse of the exclusive beast. Small quickly became a local celebrity, a graced in advertisements and inspired roller coaster at nearby Six Flags amusement park that would operate for over 2 decades. But the truth is that, people think it's real, some people don't. That's what I want to bring up for Missouri, anyways. So, any thoughts?
So I kind of didn't understand what you said with that voice, even though it was hilarious as shit. What was it described as?
Oh, sorry.
1972.
It was described as a hairy 7-foot tall creature with a foul odor looking near the edge of the woods with
So
a
like a
pumpkin shaped
Bigfoot.
head.
So like
But-
a Bigfoot?
But with a pumpkin shaped head.
A pumpkin-shaped head?
Yes.
Not pointed. Huh.
Kind of like that. Oh shit.
And that
Sorry.
was in Missouri?
Yes. Here's what it actually the drawing of people have right here.
Okay. Nah, let's see.
Right there.
So like
That's-
a Sasquatch with the pumpkin head.
Oh,
Yeah.
Is he going trick or treating?
I guess. Fuck, I don't know.
I bet that person likes to get some pumpkin spice latte too. I don't know.
Probably does. though, so.
Maybe. Who knows?
But we're gonna see when we watch it later.
yeah,
See if that voice comes through, because yesterday that voice came through.
it did. It did.
So I figured I would start off with something like that today. Just be fucking silly. You
Hey,
know?
there's nothing wrong with being silly. With all the stupid political
Yeah.
shit going on right now and how deep and dark and serious everyone can get, it's kind of fun just to
Yeah.
talk about something that's kind of like interesting and funny,
Yeah.
but also a little scary at the same time.
Well, it's just like some people believe in model, just like Bigfoot, right? Right? Some people do, some people don't. You know me, I've never seen one personally, but when I was camping out in the woods, for Boy Scouts, as an adult, all the way living out in the country, right? Dude, I swear there's some shit I can't explain in the woods.
What
You
did
know,
you see? Or
I
what did
didn't
you-
see nothing, but I heard shit that
What
I've
did you
never
hear?
heard before. And one time I had 2 of my hunting labs out. Always having the fire, out in the yard. Well, they came to do their patrol of the property. Then they came back, running back to me, and they got in front of me growling. So they saw something or smelled something that was supposed to be there. But after that, we had a weird noise. It was never a sound that I ever heard before.
Was
You
it a
know,
growl or like a roar or what?
no, it was like all that into one.
Huh.
But I couldn't explain it. I tried looking it up, but could
Like
find another.
harmonizing multiple sounds at the same time.
Yes, and of course our conservation agency is going to say, well, there's no such thing, like they try to do with mountain lions, right? In mid Missouri, they try to say, oh, there's no mountain lions, motherfucker. We've all seen them in mid Missouri, all the way up from grown up to adult, but they didn't want people freaking out.
Wait, they said there was no mountain lion?
Yeah,
We got mountain lion here in Iowa. Like
I
they're
know.
all over. Like
but the
You do
conservation,
in Missouri, don't you?
yeah, we do in Missouri, but the conservation department in mid Missouri tried to say they're not up far this north.
you definitely have them that far north
I
because
know.
I
We've
mean,
always
they
had
come
them.
from the fucking mountains. Like
I know. We've always had
Yeah.
them here.
I think
But
they're in
lived
every
in
state of the
Arkansas.
U.S.
Yeah, but our conservation
yeah.
department didn't want to acknowledge that at
Yeah.
all.
Actually,
Sometimes those
yeah,
guys are
like a lot
stupid.
of those Midwestern states are like that, where they
Yeah.
don't want to admit that like there's mountain lions or anything like that. Like there's a crazy story from the confessionals about a black panther with wings flying around
Yeah.
out there.
Well,
I mean,
okay,
yeah.
look at it this way, Rocky. Last time we talked about cryptids, we
Yeah.
talked about big cats in Iowa. That's a cryptid, right?
Yeah, but it's got
So-
fucking wings.
So, I mean, think about it this way: we got fucking bobcat, mountain lion, but whatever you want to call them, we got them in Iowa. There is photographic proof by the Iowa DNR if you go on their Facebook page of big cats, and I mean, I consider those big fucking cats. Those aren't
Mhm.
your regular house cats. Those are big cats. And so, like, we talked about this before. Like, cryptids could be something from our past that has lasted. I mean, I personally think that cryptids could be something that has lasted over the years, that has been seen, that has now recently died off or whatever. They could be still there. I don't know. If you look at the Van Meter, I mean, to me, I'll bend down so you can see it. That to me looks almost like a fucking pterodactyl,
Or
know?
condor,
Yeah,
or the
yeah.
Thunderbird, or
Or
the
the
Thunderbird.
Thunderbird. I'm almost convinced that the Thunderbird is the pterodactyl.
Like, what
Because-
if some of these species has survived over a couple hundred or thousand years?
It's completely possible because in World War II, I think the guys in the Pacific Theater said they saw pterodactyls while fighting the Japanese. And then the Solomon Islands. You ever hear about the Solomon Islands and the fucking giants there that were eating people? They ate the Japanese.
Oh, I thought that was the saltwater crocodiles.
Well, they said it was
Eaten at
saltwater
one time.
crocodiles, but it was also the Solomon Island giants. Now, the only reason I heard about that was there was this guy named Rob Skiba. He died back in 2021 from COVID, and he was a Bible guy, right? And he was all into cryptids and all the crazy freaking topics that make life interesting, right? And there's a guy that wrote a book on the Solomon Island giants. If I get a chance, I'll find it and I'll show you guys. It's on Amazon. I don't know if it's still in print, but they have it on Amazon. And it's pretty interesting because the giants they're describing are like 12 feet tall, 15 feet tall, 18 feet tall dudes, like 3 times the size of us.
Dang.
I mean, if you
Yeah.
think about it, every organism on Earth, right?
Mhm.
Its sole purpose is to survive, right? Like, we do it all the way down to a single cell, right? Our sole purpose is to survive and reproduce. If, let's say, the Van Meter is real, it's not going to want to be out and seen now. So,
Are there any other pictures of the Van Meter that you can show?
I mean, I can't share my screen for some reason because of the tablet.
Mhm.
I can't. It won't let me do it. But there's a bunch of different pictures of it. Some, like this one shows, like, I don't know if you can see, it's like shooting from its mouth like a ray. But there's different things. And my thing is every organism tries to protect itself and continue life. So whether it's a fungus to a human, it's going to do what it can to survive. And if disappearing is one of those things, because in the last cryptid we talked about was deep sea type stuff. The anglerfish, all these other different things that could be construed as something else. I think, cryptids have a pretty good, valid argument to be legit.
Real to be real, right?
Yeah, because I mean, maybe not a 8-foot Sasquatch. Okay, maybe not. Could be. I don't know. But some of these other ones, you never know. Or they could have been around 50, 60 years ago, or 70 years ago, or 80 years ago, when some of these were, came up when people came up with these, when they started sharing stories of them.
So
So
that's
that to me looks like a huge ass fucking bat.
Yeah.
it almost
yeah.
looks like Mothman too, dude.
Yeah.
It does look like Mothman. Does it
And
have the red
actually-
eyes? I can't see.
Yeah, it has red eyes.
Yeah.
But also too, we bring him up here.
You got Mothman behind you, Gilly. The two little red eyes.
Well, that's supposed to be like mono in a way too, but Mothman.
Momo.
Yeah, Bobo, yeah.
Dude, there was a blurry
Josh
picture.
Gates. Here we go.
Okay.
Discovery Channel. The Van Meter Monster. Be sharing this here.
Okay.
I ain't gonna play it because of copyright bullshit, right? But I'm gonna share this.
I'll play a beat over top of it, and then you can't get copyrighted.
This is the Van Meter Monster, episode 4 or season 4, episode 2 on 9/8/2021. So that right there is fucking actually pretty good though. I've watched it. It's a pretty good episode there.
My thing is some of these older, cryptids that are from the 20s and later, that could be all left over from the Jurassic time. We don't know. Some of these animals can live 200-300 years easily.
And of course, if they've learned to avoid mankind and hide, I
They
mean,
can live longer.
Who knows? I mean, we live all over the world, but there's still places we've not discovered everything.
And that's why, like, I'm kind of against like the whole ghost and stuff like that. Like, I don't really believe in ghosts. Okay, my wife, on the other hand, she believes in ghosts. So what do we do? I take her and we go to the Edinburgh Manor. Okay, the Edinburgh Manor was on the ghost hunting shows on TV, national TV, all this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I take her, we go there, we do our thing. We have a bunch of haunted places around here that are supposed to be haunted because, they're so old. We live literally 2 minutes away from the Rock Island Arsenal. There's only 2 arsenals in the Army now. The Rock Island Arsenal is the oldest one. It's on the largest island in the Mississippi. It's one of the oldest Army bases in the Midwest. And so, like, she wants to do, like, ghost hunting there. And I'm like, cool, let's go. So, like, I don't believe in that stuff, but I still go to, like, be with her and do that kind of stuff. And cryptids are kind of the same thing. Like, I've never seen one, so I don't believe in it because I have never seen one. Now, does that mean they don't exist? I don't know. I can't say yes or no because I've never seen one.
Thumper, did your wife ever see anything or experience anything with ghosts?
Yes. So
we need to have her talk about it sometime.
She thinks there's a ghost in our house. Okay,
well, bring her on.
She thinks there's a guy that lives in our house. He's a ghost. My house was built in 1944, so I'm sure somebody's died. With me being a paramedic and a medical examiner, I know people die in houses, right? She says there is a man that lives in this house. My mom, before I met my wife, my mom used to babysit my son, while I was at work, and they both, my son and my mom, which my son still talks about this, a black like shadow moving across our ceiling, right? I didn't see it, so I don't believe it. It's just one of those things. I have to be able to see it to believe it.
Was there any
Um,
shape to the shadow?
what's that?
Was there any shape to the shadow, like a person, a
It was
human?
just round. It was just
No?
a black shadow. They My wife says she's kind of sensitive to that kind of stuff apparently.
Mhm.
She said it's a guy that lived in this house a long, long time ago. That's all she said. And she doesn't and he doesn't like the kids in the basement. I don't know why, but it is what it is. And she believes that. I don't, but um, I kind of give into those things and do those things with her so she can, experience it or whatever. But as far as cryptids go, I look at it as cryptids are something maybe from our past that has still survived and carried over. Um, there is so much shit that is unexplained. I don't necessarily believe in aliens, but I
I
don't
do.
rule them out either.
I believe in
You know,
aliens.
I'm
I
not
don't
gonna
rule
rule
them
that out.
out because I don't know what's past our universe. I don't know what's out there. I mean, look at the shit coming back from Mars now. They're talking about water and all kinds of and water is, and I will tell you, water is the basis of any life form. I don't care what it is, it's got to have water. You know, the chemical compound of H2O is important across every. So I don't know if it's real or not or fake or whatever, but I'm gonna say I don't know. I have no experience with it, and I'm definitely not a professional. So it's just one of those things. I'm really skeptical, but like the Van Meter, that looks like to me, it looks like an old, pterodactyl.
Right on. The aliens.
What are you doing, dude? All right. So, Chris the asshole Delp, what have you got to say there, sailor?
All right. Well, I actually do believe in ghosts now. I
Really?
did. Yeah, I did not. Like aliens and Sasquatch and stuff like that. I have an open eye and like I'm waiting to see one. I'm not saying that I've seen anything, but it's like so intriguing that I want to see. And I spend a lot of time in the woods and listen and stuff like that. But the only encounter I've ever had is, unfortunately, some of you know I've had a house fire, but I actually had two house fires. And the house that I lived in was a house that I lived in growing up for part of the time, not the whole time. And it was built in like 77, and I don't think anybody had ever died in it. Um, but the first house fire I had, it was the craziest thing in the world. And you guys have always, or most people have had that kind of nightmare where you feel like you're paralyzed and you you
Sleep
can't
paralysis?
move. Yeah, like totally like you cannot do nothing. Well, I woke up that morning and I perceived I woke up and I was like in paralysis, but what woke me up was this voice and it was like close and it was like yelling at me and yelling my name and I'm like startled like and it just starts yelling my name and telling me to get up
Oh,
and
wrong button. Sorry.
and I could not move. And then after about 30 seconds, it allowed me to move, and I was laying on my side, and I kind of looked up and I seen a older lady in like this older garb, attire that was like not period. And it like freaked me the hell out, and it like disappeared. And then all of a sudden, I smell smoke.
Hmm.
Oh no!
So I don't know if it was like one of my past great grandmothers or something that did that. That's the only thing that's ever happened to me like that. And wow, that totally like freaked me out. But I actually seen it. Like I
So,
was awake and I
so
didn't
what did
like wake up afterwards. I was already awake.
so what did the thing look like that was the thing that caused the sleep paralysis or you think caused it? Was it on top of you on your chest?
Nope, it was beside my bed. I was sleeping on my right side, right on the edge of the bed,
Uh-huh.
and my closet was right there beside it, and my little nightstand, and then kind of towards the foot of the bed, but between the wall and the foot of the bed, like right at that bottom corner is where it was. And at first, I didn't look down that direction. I was just kind of looking at my closet door. But then once I could move and was totally started about yelling again, I looked and there it was. And then it's like you kind of blink your eyes and then it's gone. And it was like crazy. And it was like, I wouldn't say it was like a total apparition because it almost seemed like a real person.
What did it look like? Did it look like a person or some
Yeah,
kind
it looked like a person. It looked like a lady that was older, maybe in her 70s.
what color hair? Did she have
And
hair?
yeah, and it wasn't fully gray. It was like salt and pepper. Uh, and then it was almost like had some kind of like an apron on or something. Because I remember that there was kind of like apron top or whatever, and like a dress maybe, but with like a black. Wasn't like a solid black, but it was like partly black and white and got frills and the old fruffle that kind of popped out in the sleeves.
From like the 1800s, like 18
Yeah,
like
something like
Victorian era?
that. Yeah.
You think you saw like a hag or a banshee or something?
Well, see, when I woke up, I smelled the smoke. So it's like, wouldn't they be like against you or something? It felt more like once I woke up and smelled the smoke, it was like, oh wow, something was warning me
And
because
then
we
then
were
the
in
fire happened.
bed. Yeah.
Then the fire
And then,
happened, right?
well, the fire was already going in the basement.
Oh.
So I was like, whoa, and I smelt it. I got up and the smoke was in the house and I walked to the basement door and I opened the basement door and it was like completely flames downstairs in the basement. So I like shut the door and went and got everybody and got them outside. Yeah, that freaked me out.
That's a pretty interesting story, dude.
And now you live in the Northwest, so Bigfoot's big in that area.
Yeah, it
I,
is.
I know. That's why we enjoy going camping and keeping an open mind and we listen to Wes and Bigfoot Society and a bunch of different podcasts. And my wife's even totally enthused and we
Well,
joke
you
about every time we go. It's like we're gonna see Bigfoot this time.
well, you kind of are like a Bigfoot in a way, all
That's
hairy and
true.
all that.
That's
Except
true.
for now you're bald up
Except for
there.
now I'm bald. I lost all my good hair. Looks like Rocky's losing a little too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep,
Hey,
he is.
I still got hair though, man. Like
Shit.
my little brother has like his hair's gone, dude.
I still have hair, but like I'm not gonna waste my time growing it out. So
Like if I lose my hair, dude, I'm gonna just shave my head
yeah,
and grow
Yep,
that's what
some
I
I'm the
huge
same
ass
started
way.
doing.
fucking lamb chops.
I got a lot of hair, but I decided to shave mine off. Fuck it. It's a pain in the
Yeah.
ass.
Well, that's interesting, dude. Have you told anyone else that story?
I told my wife definitely, and she's I guess distant Native American, so she believes in a lot of Native American stories and stuff like that, and they believe in spirits and stuff. And she said, you probably had somebody watching over your shoulder, and I kind of tend to believe I'm leaning that way. And
Well,
I don't know if it was like a dream. I mean, I can't decipher the point when I woke up. That's the hard part. I felt like I was awake immediately. Like it
Well,
startled me awake.
there's
certain
an X-Files episode, Chris, that talks about uh Mitch Pileggi, the guy that plays the assistant director. I forgot his name, the bald guy. He's getting a divorce from his wife or whatever, right? And he sleeps with this woman and he has a dream that this woman is screaming at him like an old woman and then he wakes up and that girl's dead next to him, the one he just boned. So
Oh,
Oh,
it's
shit.
very similar. Like it's from the 90s. It's from the late. I want to say it's like the third, fourth, or fifth season, and
wow.
it sounds just
Certain
like what you did, but it was like she was like trying to protect him, kind of like this thing was trying to protect
Yeah,
you. So
yeah,
it's really
that's what I
weird. Like
felt.
it made what you just told me made me think of that X-Files episode.
I
So
wish I would have watched some X-Files. I didn't watch very much.
You know, certain Native Americans though, depending on where you're at. So like I'm Cherokee, right? And Blackfoot, we talked about that. But in the Pacific Northwest, they believe that giants create the tsunamis. I mean, it's
Yeah.
there is like some like when you look at like Native Americans and their beliefs, yeah, they're not all gonna go, oh yeah, there's this and this and this because it's all regional, right? So they have their own spirits and their own monsters and it's all regional. So,
Right.
you know, if you get on the coast, there's going to be cryptids that are,
Yep.
you know, more specific to the coast. And then if you look, I bet you if you look at the, you know, look up Washington State cryptids,
Yep.
I bet you it'll align with some of the Native American, you know, or
Oh yeah,
Alaska.
definitely.
Well,
You know,
just like
Iowa
here,
too.
oops, sorry. Just like here in Missouri, the Shawnee was one of the tribes here. You know, mid Missouri, northern Missouri. They believe in a thunderbird.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was a part of Shawnee tribe there in West Virginia too.
Yeah.
That's even Shawnee Lake,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
that was the same thing.
Well, and
so
if you think about it, like my Van meter might be the same thing as what the Shawnee see.
Yeah.
We just call it different things, you know, because it's. I mean, fuck, it's like food. I mean, we name food differently in different places, you know.
Yep.
And 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 so like when it comes to this kind of stuff, it's very possible there's bleed over in regions and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool because like honestly, I never really looked into cryptids. I'll be honest with you, I never
dude,
really did.
it's probably one of the most interesting topics you can look at because
Oh yeah.
there's connections in other realms, in other worlds or whatever, to cryptids to everything now.
And you guys actually introduced it to me, you
Yep.
know? Like I've been to Afghanistan, I've been to Iraq, I've been to Turkey, I've been to Australia, I've been to Hong Kong, you know, I've been to every continent but Africa and Antarctica, right? So with everything that I've been to and done, and whether it's military or private sector or whatever, I never come across anything like that that opened my eyes to it and go, huh, maybe it could be, I don't know. You know, I there's been plenty of times I've been on the side of a fucking mountain in Afghanistan where nobody knew where I was, and though I can't say nobody, but people knew, but there was high flying stuff above me that knew where I was, and there's noise behind me. You know, I don't know. It could be a fucking squirrel. Do they have squirrels in Afghanistan? I never really saw one. I don't know. You know, but there's noise, you know, and you hear that kind of stuff and you don't even think twice about it because you assume it's a human and then once you assume it's a human, then you take your actions and then nothing happens. But like, you know, now I'm starting to look into these things more because you guys have kind of opened my eyes to it. And just like I mean, my wife, you know, with the whole ghost thing, you know, I have to believe in it? No, but can I take her to go do things? I don't know if you've ever seen the Edinburgh Manor.
Yeah.
It was on Ghost Adventures, I think
Yeah. I've
is what
seen
it
that
was.
one. Pretty good.
I think it was.
Yeah.
So we took her and the kids. We went out there and made it a day. It's like 30 minutes away from my house, and we spent the whole day out there. And like the owner was super cool. She's like, yeah, if you guys want to spend the night, whatever, cool, you know. We do the Velisca axe murder house too. I don't know if you've ever looked into that.
Oh
It's one
yeah.
of the most notorious murders in Iowa with an
Hmm.
axe. I actually have a picture of me holding one of the axes that they believe was the murder weapon. The owner actually took it out of from behind glass and actually let me have it to hold on to.
I
It
wouldn't have
was
touched
super
it.
Oh, dude, it was super cool. Um,
You
here,
got,
Gilly,
you're gonna get possessed.
Yeah.
I'll actually send you the picture, Gilly, and then you can post it or
All
show
right,
it on here or whatever.
all right.
Because it was super cool.
While you're doing that,
But
right? I want to share something with Chris, to everybody.
Okay.
This is from the Seattle Times, October 7th or 27th, 2023. It's a field guide to all the Washington State cryptids, mysterious monster cryptids, right? This is what I've heard about, not Bigfoot, the bat squatch.
A
Bat
bat
squatch.
squatch.
Bat
That's an
Yes.
So that
interesting one.
Yes.
that lines up with the other,
Yeah.
It
with the
looks like
wings.
the Van Meter kind of picture, right? Or the Mothman.
Yeah,
It's kind of like a
totally.
Bigfoot with fucking wings in a way, right?
Yeah.
Huh.
There's a lot of shit that's out there. Look at this one right here. Move over, Loch Ness Monster. 1933. A man told the Victoria Daily Times that he was sailing through Harrow Strait between Vancouver and San Juan Islands, where he and his wife saw a sea serpent. The man reported it was greenish brown color and had markings along tops and sides. Right there.
And
I
it
mean,
looks like it has an otter face with fucking walrus
Or
tusks.
walrus, yeah.
exactly, man. I mean, there's
Who
a lot
could
of shit.
chew?
Maybe it
Dude,
was a
there's a lot of shit
green
out there,
rot.
man.
It was a green rotting walrus.
And look at the octopus, man. The giant Pacific octopus.
Oh yeah, those are nice. Those are cool anyway.
But there's a lot of legends, and some of those legends have to be fucking true, right
Oh,
there.
Oh yeah.
yeah. So, Chris, did your wife ever see anything?
No, not that I know
All right.
of. She has some
Damn.
stuff, but she hasn't really talked about that much.
Well,
But
If
pictures
she
did you
ever
send
wants to
me?
talk about it, man, have her come on and we'll be more than
yeah,
happy
that's
to hear
cool.
her story.
Hey,
I wanted
Brett,
to add on to
I couldn't
mine.
do it. Couldn't open them up.
you couldn't? Oh shit.
Oh, wait a minute. Yep, I got dead LB. Save this. Send it to my
You got
email.
him?
Sorry.
Yeah, I know my wife will come on and talk about ghosts. She'll talk to you all day long about ghosts.
So after my
I don't know if she's ever experienced a cryptid though.
It doesn't matter.
Um,
Ghosts, cryptids, they all fall in the
yeah,
same
ghosts are
realm.
cryptids too.
It's
So
all the paranormal.
yeah,
All
so
So
right.
it
after
delves
my
into the
Hey,
paranormal, into the supernatural, because some of these cryptids have abilities that are like supernatural. You know what I mean? Like they can
oh
appear
yeah.
and disappear and all that crap.
So
So
let me
go
after
see.
ahead,
She's,
Matt. Chris.
she's coming down the stairs right now.
Okay, Chris, add on to your
Hang
story,
on. Let
bro.
me see.
yeah, so after that,
Hey,
I noticed and I felt like there was a presence around me, and it's kind of weird
do you have any
to
ghost stories
feel that, but
online?
No.
you know the what do they call it? The ghost numbers or the multiple numbers
What are you
like
doing?
222 and 444 and 555 that pop up.
What, the Fibonacci sequence?
No, it's like
Because we're
you'll
talking about
wake up in the
cryptids.
middle of the night and it's always the same time, but it's like 222.
Cryptids,
Oh, okay.
like
Yeah.
Bigfoot
Like
and-
angel numbers, I think is what
Yeah.
they call it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
after that, I felt like there was like a male presence around me telling me, and
That's what I
I
got.
looked up the 222 thing was just freaking me out because every time I would look, it would be a 222. And when I looked it up, it said something like maybe a dead person in your past is telling you you're on the right path or something like that. And then I would always see this damn 222. And then all of a sudden, like
You have
a couple months ago, it switched to 555. And then it was 555 for like a whole month. And then it went back to 222.
How long has this been going on?
Ever since that first house fire, when that happened, I felt like
I remember you
it was
talking
the
about
weirdest.
that on Facebook, but
Yeah,
I
it was
don't
the
remember the year.
weirdest. Yeah, it was the weirdest thing in the world is having that number pop up all the time. And I'm like, we'll be cruising down the road. I don't care what time it is. I'm not really looking. I don't wear a watch. If I really want to know what time it is, I'll look at my phone. But other than being work on time and leaving work on time, I really don't even care what time it is.
Mhm.
But I'll just look over and all of a sudden, oh, it's 222. Or I'll wake up and it's 222. Or there'll be something on TV, it'll be 222. Or it's the craziest thing in the world how it pops up. Not any other numbers. Like it's just your brain becomes aware and you look at something and then automatically it's 222.
We
and
should
it
look
and it
into
kind of
that. There
freaks you
there is
out.
there's something to that, Chris. But what year was the fire? Because I remember on Facebook that you
Well,
talked.
I had two fires actually. One
Yeah.
was let's see, 2000, maybe 14 or 15.
Yeah, that's the one I remember. The first one, I think, was that one,
Yeah, and
right?
then the second one, I rebuilt, and then the second one, I didn't have insurance because I owned my house, and that one's pretty much a total loss. And my daughter still lived in Washington, and me and my wife decided, well, she'd never lived in Washington, but we drove back here quite a bit to pick my daughter up for the summers. She's like, um, talking about, well, let's just move back to Washington, and so we just threw everything in the car and we came back.
So
So.
what tribe is your wife from?
Uh, I think Blackfoot and something else, like out of Georgia. I can't remember what it was.
So she's from Georgia or something?
Well, a lot of her family is from like the
Okay.
Georgia area. She was raised in West
Cherokee
Virginia,
came out of
but
Georgia a lot.
Yeah.
yeah, I
A
think it
lot of
was
Cherokee.
Cherokee and Blackfoot. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Cherokee and Blackfoot.
Yeah, so Blackfoot is mostly like South Dakota area. And then Cherokee is like southeast.
Yeah,
Until you get like into Florida, which is Seminole area.
right.
Because I'm Cherokee and Blackfoot. So that's all like right in that area. Cherokee is like southeast up until like Florida.
All
Well,
right, I got the
that's
picture of Hodges finally on the computer here. I'm gonna
okay.
share it. Him
Let's
holding that
check it out.
axe. This is him without no fucking beard, people, right here.
Be
It's
warned.
scary. Yeah, it's scary.
Baby Thumper, right there.
That's the Hodges I remember. I'm just
Except where he's got a little
Yeah,
bigger belly and all that.
I do. Yeah, I still got a firearm on the side though.
But that was right after you got back from what was that contractor work, right?
No, that one was actually in between. So
In
like I
between.
got big. So between Afghanistan and Iraq, I was God, I was maybe because I had to take 2 years off of contracting because of my divorce.
Yeah.
So I think that was like a year after I had been back home eating all the shitty food. Um, but like, yeah, so like a year after and a year before I went back overseas and got in shape. So yeah, it was like 2 years before I got back into shape. It's pretty bad. I
yeah,
was fat.
we all go through those periods of life. Like I'm trying to lose weight too. I'm trying to get back in shape because I had some things happen in life that just kind of messed me up the past couple of years, and I'm just trying to improve myself. We always got.
It's
Awesome.
crazy because for the longest time I was like, fuck it, I give up. I can't fight it anymore. I was running 9 miles, 65 minutes at 4,500 foot elevation. I was like hardcore, right? Like I was 100. I got myself down to 160 pounds roughly at 30. Oh God. So I was in Afghanistan. I left the Navy in 2012, so I was 32. So 32 to 33, sometime in there, I started running, and before then, I was doing the Naval Special Operations, Special Warfare stuff. So I was running up until probably oh God 20. When did I come home from Iraq? 2016, but there was a year or 2 years in there in between 2012 and 2016 that I was home because of my divorce, and I did not work out one bit. I gained so much fucking weight, and then that was during that time before my workup to go to Iraq the second time, and yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Like the way we look and shit. Like I was looking at our deployment book, and I'm like, oh, I look like a fucking child in that shit. And then like I shave now, which I'm gonna warn you guys, I'm gonna be shaving here pretty soon. I got the longest hair I've ever had, and this looks horrible on camera, but This is the longest hair I've ever had since high school,
It's
and I'm getting
wintertime.
ready
I'm
to cut it.
jealous.
Look at well, I'm balding here, and I'm balding here, and it's crazy because like it looks like a V on
All right,
here.
let's get back to the
So,
cryptids
but yeah,
before we
cryptids.
go off the rails a little bit. Now, I'm gonna get ready to share a picture. So I just looked up monsters of Iowa, right? There's a lot more cryptids in Iowa than you probably realize. You might not, but this right here, cryptids of Iowa. Well, of course, you got big cats, right? Dogman, dragons, Lock Ridge monster, monster turtle, and big blue. Okay, I don't know what that is. Lake monster, Pepe, phantom kangaroos,
What?
What?
skunk river monster, which I've heard about the skunk river monster, Van Meter monster, and
Yeah,
wild man.
You know,
Have you,
we could cover every state and talk about the cryptids in every state.
Oh
did you
yeah.
ever fucking see that? Heard about them, Thumper?
no, I like I said last episode, if it has to do with the Mississippi River and a fish, I believe it because
Well, that's where the skunk river monster is Mississippi, right? Is all the rivers, right?
yeah,
Same way with
if
the
it
lake
has to do with
monster
the river, yeah, if it has to do with the river and something huge, I believe it
and
because
Pepe.
the Mississippi, I know police divers and FBI and all of them that have dove our rivers have said they will not dive again because they've seen catfish and everything else that are way too big and they'll just swallow them whole.
Are you
Oh,
But
serious?
that's
That
every
big?
state. Every state has
yeah,
that.
Because,
oh
like,
yeah,
I mean, I heard a big fish in the
Yeah.
Mekong River in like Thailand or Cambodia
no,
or those places. I never heard of it there.
you go to the base of the Centennial Bridge, the 74 bridge, and the 280 bridge. Those are three bridges. So okay, let's kind of back up for history. The Arsenal Bridge was the first bridge to ever cross the Mississippi River. Okay, it goes from the Arsenal Island to Davenport. The Arsenal Island is an army base. There is a bridge that is very low, and the lock and dam, which is the world's largest roller lock and dam, is right there. So if you go to the north of that, east, because where I live is a little different. The Mississippi River does not run north to south; it actually runs east to west. It's the only place in the river that it runs east to west. So if you go east of the Arsenal Bridge, you have the Centennial Bridge or the 74 Bridge, and east of that is the 80 Bridge, and then west of the Arsenal Bridge you have the Centennial Bridge and the 280 Bridge, and all of those have huge stanchions in the middle of the river, right? And they go down, I mean, way down. So down around there's a current, and it's you cannot you can't find that current anywhere naturally in the Mississippi River. Okay, so down there you have all this current, and you got channel cats and you got blues and all that, and they get fucking huge. Okay,
Or your flathead too.
yep, flatheads. I think the yeah the state the state record might be like 40 some pounds for a channel cat. Okay, now that doesn't sound like a lot. I don't know if you've ever seen a 40-pound channel cat.
Oh yeah, I have. That's a baby compared to those
Yeah,
what's in
that's
the
a
Missouri
baby.
River. Because
Yeah.
on the other
So
side of Iowa, we got the Missouri River too. You got the Mississippi
Gilly,
and Missouri
if
there.
you can share a picture of a 40-pound channel cat
Yeah,
or a
I'll get
blue
that.
or whatever, it'll give you an idea of how big these fuckers are. Okay, it doesn't take much to be bigger than a man because these are pure muscle. They don't have fat on them. They're pure muscle fish. So when you're talking 40 pounds of pure muscle, it's huge. And it wouldn't be wild to think that there's a 60 or 70 or 80 pound or 100 pounder under that water. They don't give a fuck about what you're throwing under with a pole,
See, here's a
because
40-pound channel cat right
it,
here. There's a 40
it's
pounder
not going to make
right
them
there.
full.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Or
that's
channel.
small. I mean, that's good eating right there. See, like
Yeah.
River with his mom, so they do a lot of fishing on the Missouri, right? And a lot of other smaller, rivers around here.
Yeah.
Because where Boonville's at, we're right on the Missouri River. Dude, they get the big old fucking blue cats. I mean, I got pictures.
80, 90 pounds.
Yeah, I got River standing next to a fucking 100-pound fucking flathead. It's taller than him.
Catfish Dave on YouTube.
Yep. And I mean, yeah, like here in Missouri, like anywhere there's a dam, right, for power and all that, like how I just said, they have gone down and seen, catfish as big as a fucking school bus down there. Because all they do, they get so big that all they do is just wait for the food to come to them.
And they don't want the food that you're putting on the end of your hook, because it's too small. It's not going to fill them up. They're not going to even waste their time on it. So that's why
They're
you don't
probably
see
eating other
people reeling
catfish.
these fucking things in.
Yep.
They're
They're
down
eating
there
other
fucking
catfish.
swallowing fucking the biggest bass that you can possibly think of whole, and not even blinking, because it's not that big compared to them.
Oh, they're probably
You
eating
know?
20-pound cats.
Yeah, absolutely. If you think about it. So, like, yeah, we haven't seen the biggest catfish down there because we can't catch it, because it doesn't want what we're throwing out there. Because
That reminds me of a story when I was a little kid, right? My grandparents lived in Newberry Springs, California, and we had this pistachio ranch. And they made friends with these people that had an alfalfa ranch, and they had a big lake there. And they let us go swim in this lake. It was a man-made lake, and they put fish in there, right? And my cousin Jared was with me one time with my brother and sister and all that stuff, and his sister. And he jumped in the lake and he said, "A whale attacked me." And it was this huge ass freaking catfish. Like the thing was big. So, like, what you guys are talking about, it's like I've kind of seen that stuff before, but I kind of forgot about it until you're talking about it right now. But they're saying there's catfish that are big enough to eat people.
Well, yeah.
oh, swallow whole, like, not just eat, just swallow whole, like inhale, gone, done.
That's
You're
that.
over.
How long would that be? Would that be like a 20-foot catfish?
No, I mean,
no.
if you think about it, if a catfish, so a catfish is normally typically wider than it is in length. So you only need a 10-foot, 8-foot catfish,
That's a
and
big catfish.
Here's
it could fuck some
Yeah.
people up.
here's what a
You know?
over 100-pound blue cat looks like, right?
Yeah. You gonna show us?
Yes, right here. That's what
Right
it looks
there.
like.
And that's
Look
not
at
a
that
cryptid.
kid.
That is not a cryptid, but it
No.
imagine something
But
bigger
here's the
than that.
here's the state records, right? The world record for blue cats, 143 pounds. That's the world record right now.
Wow.
And here's one of the lists, but here they are, like Mississippi, 131 pounds, right, for the Mississippi River.
Mississippi
Missouri,
River,
130 pounds from Missouri. North Carolina, 127 pounds and 1 ounce from Roanoke River. Illinois, 124 pounds from Mississippi. Tennessee, 122 pounds from the Barkley Reserve. Texas, 121.5 pounds from Lake Texoma, wherever the fuck that is. Alabama, 120 pounds from Holt Reservoir. Arkansas, 116 pounds from Mississippi. Louisiana, 114 pounds from the Mississippi. South Carolina, 113 pounds. I ain't gonna try to say that. I'm a butcher it anyways. Even fucking Queer Cali, 113 pounds from St. Vincent Reservoir. Georgia, 110 pounds from Chattahoochee River. Kentucky, 106.9 pounds from Ohio River. Indiana, 104 pounds from Ohio River. Kansas, 102 from the Missouri River. Ohio, 112 pounds from 12 Mile Creek. Iowa, 101 pounds from the Missouri River. Nebraska, 100 pounds and 8 ounces from the Missouri River.
And I'll tell you right now, the Illinois ones on the Mississippi were probably caught on the Iowa side.
Okay, so I just looked up the world record and it's
Yeah.
the Mekong. It's the Mekong catfish, the one in the Mekong River.
No,
Yeah.
this is the blue
700.
cat. That's a
Yeah.
different cat style catfish. Nope.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
This is the
totally.
blue cat. Yeah.
But I just wanted you to hear the weight on this one: 770
Yes.
pounds.
Yes.
Oh my goodness!
Because
How
if you
how
watched
big
River
and long?
Monsters, right? River
Yep.
Monsters did a thing all that. All
Mhm.
the all that breed of catfish, that style
Yep.
catfish right there. Dude, they get
Yeah, but
fucking long as hell right there. Those
I
ones do.
I do a lot of fish keeping, right? I do a lot of aquariums and stuff, and I had my store and everything, but people get these kinds of fish from overseas all the time and release them,
Yeah.
once they get too big for their tanks. And it's just probably not going to be long until something's like that in our rivers.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's crazy that they, um, the different things that are released and stuff. Gilly, I just sent you a Mekong uh catfish.
Yeah,
You
and
could
then
you could share that once you save it and share it.
a
But
Wells catfish was just definitely smaller, but that's the one in England, 9.4 feet long.
Wow.
I mean, if you think about it though, when you get into these big fish, you know, they can swallow a human whole, depending on the size. And it's like it's not that far away from what they used to be. We know that animals and everything else used to be bigger back in the day, right? That's
Yeah,
a given. It's a given.
yeah,
More
yeah. I mean, one of
oxygen.
the most intriguing cryptids. Well, it's not. I don't know if it's a cryptid or not. Would be the megalodon.
Oh
Here's
yeah.
before we get there, here's the catfish that Hodge
Yeah.
sent me right here.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's the Mekong.
Yeah.
That's a big fish.
I mean, that's bigger than any catfish, longer than what we have here at stateside.
That we know of.
Yeah, we know of. Because we all know that some I still believe this that a lot of that shit that people are seeing now, especially the rivers, right, are known species. Some of them probably ain't, but a lot of them are.
Oh yeah.
So, Lil Tate, are you here, bro?
I don't think he is. He had to run and go do something.
Okay, okay. So, yeah, I mean, one of the most intriguing um, is the megalodon, guys.
Well, that's
What
been
did you
proven
say?
to be real too.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, they find
Huh?
the teeth in Florida, and they're like as big as my hand.
Well,
Oh
have you ever
yeah.
watched Shark Week, right?
Yeah, I love
Well,
shark.
there's the biggest great whites that they've tagged have fucking scars on them.
Like they
Yeah,
were getting eaten. Yeah,
from
Yeah.
like
something
the
else,
bite
right?
marks.
So
Yeah,
they
that were
think the
bigger than
megalodon is
them.
still out there because the ocean's so fucking big that they don't know exactly what's in the ocean.
Yeah, I
So the
know.
megalodon could have survived.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the megalodon. You have the bleep thing from 1997.
Yep.
Giant squids, giant octopus, kraken like motherfucking things.
Well, you
Hey, that on the octopus, I went back and I looked up one of those giant octopus.
Uh-huh.
yep.
So they had one in the Tacoma Narrows news or whatever. But there was one under, you remember Galloping Gertie, the bridge that uh, during the earthquake they had the video of that collapsed.
Was
Yep.
that by Federal Way? The one by Federal Way?
That was the one where went across the strait. Dang, right there near Bangor.
Uh-huh. So
Uh,
Bremerton Banger area kind of thing?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it was a giant Pacific octopus, and it said
Why don't
the
you?
regular ones are at least 6 foot tall and they can dwarf a human. But it says, but already massive creature, a much more massive twin swimming underneath commuters crossing the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. The myth of the massive 600-pound king octopus was once named one of the 11 wonders of Tacoma, created to said to be living among ruins of the original bridge collapse of Galloping Gertie. All the
Wow.
rubble from the bridge that fell in the water.
That's pretty interesting. I remember go ahead, Gilly, you talk, bro.
Speaking of, the ocean, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all see this video, but this one right here, I found this the other day on Facebook, is a whale eating fucking boat.
I think that's AI, bro.
No, that's not.
That one
Because
deep.
Is that the one that ate the guy in the kayak?
no, this is they ate the boat. The
Oh,
kayak's a different one.
I see it. I see it.
But no, this is real. It ain't AI, Rocky.
It's
Because
not. I thought it
no,
was AI because there were people commenting like, "Oh, this is fucking AI," and I'm like,
because
"Well, it kind of looks like
those
it."
stupid just like the people that won the kayak ride,
Yeah.
they're going out there to where these people are, where these whales are fucking feeding.
Mhm.
So they're trying to get a glimpse of them. You never go in those areas to try to get that close to them at all.
Well, you know what they did? They went full retard.
Yes, you never go full retard, people. Here, let me say it in a
Never go
different
full
voice.
retard.
Yeah, I watched a video the other day of this Australian kid on a kayak
You
fishing,
never
and
go full
a great
retard,
white
morons.
a great white started following him. So he had to keep paddling and paddling, paddling for like 3 miles to get away from him.
But there's another one too of a woman getting swallowed by a whale
Yeah.
on the west coast because she was kayaking trying to get closer to the whales while they're trying to feed or whatever they was doing, right? And they came up about she was food, but it spit her out.
Well, that's good. Did they spit the boat out?
Yeah, they spit the boat out.
And the people too? I mean, I guess they could have another Jonah and the whale story, really. I mean, if you're seeing that, then how much doubt do you have that Jonah and the whale might be true?
I don't know if they could actually swallow him or not.
Like that, it's just crazy that you're like,
But
there's
people don't realize how big
videos of
whales
that
are.
shit.
They don't.
Yeah, until you see one up close. I got some good videos of my last fishing trip over there with some whales.
You order.
I mean, just
That's
think about
cool.
like when the whale, you're all those whale watching cruises, right? Think about it. You see the whales jumping out of the water, right? If you're in the wrong fucking spot, they'll land on your fucking boat.
You're screwed, dude. You're totally screwed. Like that thing will capsize a boat, man. Those things weigh, I don't know how long. They don't weigh as much as a ship, but they're damn heavy and they're damn big.
And they got some of the biggest dicks out there for mammals, too.
Hey, that's true. They're called dorks. I'm sorry. I just had to say that. That's funny. All right. So other cryptids, megalodons.
I don't know
That
if
one has
megalodons.
always been like the most intriguing thing because when you watch the movie Jaws, Quint's like, he's got 25 feet, 2 tons on him. You know, it's like, well, yeah, how long has that ship, that fucking fish, how fucking lived? I mean, I think these sharks that they haven't found yet that are huge probably have lived a very long time like that. Remember that one? It was a Greenland shark. They said that thing was like 400 years old or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, there's a possibility. Oh, dude, I watched a thing called The Real Lost World from YouTube, but it was from the Discovery Channel from like 2007, and they were talking about how these guys went to the place where Sir Arthur Conan Doyle based The Lost World on, where we get like the book Jurassic Park and The Lost World and all that shit. And they had Bigfoots out there, they had dinosaurs out there, they had all kinds of stuff. They actually discovered a microbe that eats glass and silica.
Well, if you think
Kinda
about it,
crazy.
like the whole thing, like there's fungus that eats radiation.
Yeah.
I mean, they're finding it at Chernobyl and it's thriving. So like when it comes to all this stuff, it's like there's things we don't know about. It's gonna happen, and you just let it go, let it
Yeah.
do its thing.
Well, the
Because
craziest thing about it, Brett, is that like they went there, they found that stuff, and they found other species of animal that were not supposed to exist that existed. So it's
Right.
Right.
like they said because the microbes or some kind of bacteria lives up there, all the lizards, all the birds, all the insects, everything is black. It's covered in this black microbe thing that lives on it. So it's like it's a weird adaptation thing, right? But hey, my man with the Mothman in the background.
You got anything, little Tate? You been quiet.
Yeah.
I ain't got shit.
he's been gone.
But the
I was in the
megalodon,
middle. I was in the middle of talking to my brother about our transfer for our uploads and downloads on the Synology server. So he was checking everything. We checked everything. We're all set now. So
all right, good.
Cool.
See the
What,
megalodon.
what do you
here's
want? You want me to add some shit? You guys are talking about big fish and stuff.
Yeah, go for it, bro.
Let me hit the megalodon real quick. 50-foot estimates, 50-foot length, and estimates weighs stretching beyond 100,000 pounds. Right there. That's how big they think the megalodon actually is.
That's just a tiny fish.
On it.
Well, and I think when you brought up like the catfish and stuff, people don't realize fish are very deceptive in their weight. 100 fucking pounds is fucking huge.
Oh yeah.
Like these weights don't calculate right. They think human weight, like 100 pounds is something, but when you put it on a fish that's only a few feet wide, like or a few feet long, that's like when you get bass like on your thing, you're like, oh my god, it's like a 20 pounder, and you pull it up and it's like 8 pounds
or 5 foot or 5
yeah,
pounds
yeah,
or 6
you
pounds.
fucking
I mean, just like the
you're like,
bluegill.
oh my god, look at this.
Just like the hybrid bluegill, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Out of
yeah.
all
Those
the bluegill
pictures are
species, those
massive.
hybrid ones, they get big and they will put up a fight, especially if you got an ultralight. I mean, that's fun fishing there.
Well,
I think the small ones put up a
in
fight.
San Diego Bay, there's something called a spotted bay bass, and it's a sports fish, and it's not very big, but it'll fight like there's a damn shark on there.
Yeah.
It really, like, you need a fucking inshore rod, like you're not going out there with like 20-pound test. You need braided line and shit, and this is just a bass. I picked up bat rays and shit before too out there. I hate fucking bat rays, man. They're mush mouth motherfuckers. But like, going back to what Thumper said a while back when we were talking about things that are surfacing, I think a lot of what we're seeing is some of these cryptids are being forced out of their natural environment, like caves and stuff like that. And we're starting to see more and more of, come around.
The question is why?
Because we're approaching all their habitat.
Or
Yeah,
something.
Look at
Go ahead,
like,
little Tate.
look at Alaska. You have brown bear, black bear encroaching on all these cities because they're expanding. It's no different. So
Yeah, and back in the day, they used to shoot a bunch of them. Now there's lots of laws, so now they're populating again and moving back towards the cities.
100%.
Yeah, and that's where I think it's at. Like we talked about the anglers, the coelacanth, that's a prehistoric fish. And the way that the Van Meter is looking like is a giant bat. Look at giant vampire bats in India and shit. You remember Indiana Jones, right? Flying over and shit. Like, and the Thunderbirds, like we were talking about earlier, the California condor has like what, a 12-foot, 14-foot wingspan.
That's a big bird, man.
You see that thing flying over you, you're like, holy fuck.
You know what's crazy about that thing about the Lost World thing, the real Lost World? Have you ever seen the movie Up?
Yeah.
It's like they went and Kevin the bird is from the fucking area that the real Lost World is from, and it's in between Venezuela and Brazil.
Yeah, there's an actual mountain where they drew it from. It's like once you get there, you never leave. And it's literally, I seen the picture earlier of it. I was watching.
But you know what it also looks like? It looks like a giant tree stump, like the thing in Idaho.
Oh yeah,
From
Devil's Tower.
Movie? The Close Encounters of the Third Kind or whatever.
It's Devil's Tower.
Yeah. So it's weird. It's like, was that a giant fucking tree?
I don't know, man, but there's pieces of shell that come off that fucking thing and roll through the trail. Like there was so many like boulders that fall from that thing that I've looked at it, and it's hard to say if it's petrified because you have the petrified forest in Arizona. So it's really strange on that one. Like it's pretty eerie by that thing, because you remember Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I watched it as a kid too. And you're like, and this place is awful quiet and just it's weird. Like it has its own thing, man. And the prairie dogs that are out there are fucking hilarious, man. We sat and watched them for like an hour, like just laughing at them. But they're at the base there, around
remember
it.
Watching that movie and seeing how the aliens almost had like a ghostly paranormal effect on the toys. And then you start doing research on reading about ghosts and aliens and all this other stuff. And they actually put that in the movie because that's what the researchers like Jacques, whatever his name is, not Jacques Cousteau, said like this is what's actually happening. Yeah, that thing looks like a giant tree like you would see in that movie
Yep.
with the blue people. I forgot that.
They've actually tested that tree.
And it's got root systems, right?
It's
Yeah, they've
petrified.
talked about it.
Yes.
Mm.
You
Well,
know
and
that
that's where they'll argue because they'll say it's thermal vents,
Yep.
like where it came up, where that massive rock came from the lava. But
And
I
then
find
the
it hard to believe
sand and
that
stuff blew
thermal
away.
vents that aren't roots.
No.
That
well, what's crazy, guys?
Come
There's some verses in the Old Testament. I think it's in Isaiah or Jeremiah. It's one of the prophets, right? Either the minor or the major prophets, and it talks about that the God had the angels cut down giant trees like that, kind of described like what we see now. And it's weird because you would never think of it unless someone pointed it out. But it's just interesting because that's that weird crap again.
Pareidolia is a thing that is can get confused with people because you will make faces or you'll see things that aren't really there.
Yeah.
And pareidolia makes it really hard for seeing things. Like I wanted to say earlier, out in the woods, you got to be careful, like crows and ravens, because crows sound like humans. They can mimic a human voice.
Yeah.
And like the skinwalkers and stuff. So you gotta. I don't want to. I still believe in cryptids, but there are natural explanations of certain things that you hear or see out there. So it's
Yeah.
not to discredit anybody. It's just
Like they said, a mountain lion sounds like a woman screaming, right?
yeah, it does.
That-
Or
that would-
coyotes
that would
can
be
do it
so-
too.
That would be
It's-
so creepy to hear. Like I'd be like, oh my God, I'm gonna get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, there's things like I said, I've seen a few things out there, and it's hard to explain. There most
did
of
you
them can
see?
be, but
What did you see? If
well, I
you
was telling you about the red eyes. When we were talking about the Van Meter stuff, the Midwest is full of that kind of stuff. We seen the red eyes flash. When we were out there, and sound like somebody was running behind us. That
now,
that's
were
all
they,
you can
were
see
they
in the dark.
were they red eyes or like that picture that's on Gilly's background? Was it like that?
It was very similar to what's behind Gilly's. Like it was
Because
a little bit redder. Like I was telling you, it reminded me of Predator. With the eyes flashing, but it
Yeah.
stayed on. And my best friend, he's seen it too.
did
He scared the shit out of us.
was you
did,
stoned?
did you estimate how tall it was?
Probably about 7 foot. I was riding my 3-wheeler and standing up a little bit on it, so it'd have been about 6-7 feet tall. I mean, everybody's like talking, like these 9 and 10 foot tall things. It wasn't that tall.
Huh.
You know what I mean?
Because like they say the dog man has eyes like that too.
Yeah, well, like I said, our local story is the Big Mix, which is kind of like Dogman, Wolfman type shit. But it was one that I was pulling up that kind of makes me laugh because you ever heard of like the pug wedgies?
No, let's check it out. Let's hear
Yeah,
it.
the pug wedge is kind of like when I was telling you the story of the small houses, the Munchkin land. So part of that story comes from these guys right here, the Pugwuggies. And I've been to Mountain State Park. Mountain State Park is an Indian, Native American like burial area. And they're famous around that area. And the Native Americans believe in it. There's the Pugwuggie.
Whoa.
And they
doesn't that remind you of a thing from Labyrinth?
yeah, the little guy dancing around, the guys that are tossing their heads around and stuff.
Yeah, like Labyrinth, and then there's another movie,
The
Legend.
evil leprechaun.
Legend. There's the movie Legend with Tom Cruise from like 1984. Labyrinth, and there's another one. It's Time Bandits, or like Willow.
Yeah.
It's all like it's weird. They look like fairy folk.
That's what they consider them as. Is like that's like when we were talking about fairy stuff. Those are in there, and it's like remember the stories about gremlins and shit like that.
Yes,
taking stuff and hiding it from you, and like we were talking about.
Yes, especially the DEI gremlins.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
but
No politics today.
And if you read the story, like they used to help humans. Like they were part of Native American culture, and at some point we turned on them or they turned on us, and now they transform themselves into like smaller animals.
You know what's crazy? Lil Tate, is I have a little book by Stephen Quayle. It's called Little Nephilim. And it talks about all those little creatures that we're talking about right now. They're small. They're not big giant things, but they're smaller, but they're kind of humanoid and just like there's something not right about them. Like they might be evil. They might eat you or some shit.
Well, remember the Hobbit bones they found? Sorry,
Yeah.
Gilly.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Hobbit bones they found, I think, Australia or somewhere around there. They
Yep.
found a whole other race of humanoids that were
Yeah.
really small, like which
There's
would be
there's another book I have, and I think it's The Origin of Nations, and it talks about they had like pygmy people that were like hobbits in Africa also. So, I mean, I know the stuff we're talking about sounds like way out there, but it's nearly, not really because there's historical documentation for it.
They're just inbred, kind of like the people in Arkansas and Alabama.
And West Virginia. Don't forget the West
Oh,
Virginia.
I forgot. I forgot about West
Come on,
Virginia.
man.
what
You
was
got
that?
you got the
Wrong,
whites.
wrong turn and shit.
Majority.
I had a good friend that was from West Virginia too. Train him. And when that movie came out, man, he was just like, "Oh, we're so fucked. They're giving out the truth."
It's so funny watching somebody from Missouri try to defend that. It's amazing.
Yeah, because their family probably came from West Virginia.
Actually, mine did. After it came from Scotland, right, and Ireland, settled in West Virginia, Virginia, then Texas, and then Missouri. That's why you
Gilly,
got so many different spellings of the last name.
Gilly, are you sure you're not part leprechaun?
Oh, you stole my Lucky Charms. Yes, I am part
He
leprechaun.
might be a leprechaun after all, lads. He's a good lad.
Hey, Gilly, did you get the two pictures I sent you?
Yes, I did. What are those of?
So, since we're talking cryptid, these are pictures. You know, I work at Hanford Nuclear Reservation, and these were in K reactor on the wall, and these are like government pictures
Okay.
that they
Be
paid
sure real
like
quick. Be sure.
yeah
There you go.
As long as you're not going to get in trouble,
yeah
sure.
no. So these are pictures like they hung up all over the walls everywhere. So like if you go in offices and stuff nowadays, you'll see like work harder or work smarter, not harder, whatever, all these pictures hanging up everywhere. But they had photographers go out and take pictures of stuff and put them inside to kind of decorate the inside a little bit. And they would put these like in the hallways and stuff like that. And one day we were kind of looking at this one, and you know, they're old. I mean, they're probably 60s or 70s pictures, maybe even 80s.
I'd say
You could see the
70s,
frame down
maybe
there.
early 80s.
Yeah. So we were looking at this one picture because we were taking them down. And, you know, there's lights kind of everywhere. But on the left-hand side, at the building that's kind of the cream color building, standing on the sidewalk is an apparition kind of shadow against the building, and it looks kind of like a guy in a pea coat.
Can you zoom in on it, bro?
I did. I sent one picture where it's kind of zoomed in, and I sent one picture
All right. Let me go back to that one here.
that's wider view.
There you go, right there. I see it right there.
So do you
Oh.
see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was in a you know, it was a print because they, you know, just make a bunch of prints and hang them all over the place. But we seen that in there, and there's like no shadow on the ground. There's no, like, how did it start there? Where's the light that makes, even if there was a person there?
What
What's
year was-
crazy is he's walking or she's walking the sidewalk that's, you know, like shoveled too.
Yeah.
What year was that?
I don't know.
It
That's
has,
the thing. I don't know.
it looks like, you know, like the first one had up maybe 70s or like Chris said, early 80s, something like that.
Yeah, you
maybe
can
late
kind of look
60s.
at you can look at the picture frame itself down there and kind of,
I mean, you can actually
Cheap
see
wooden
like
frame.
2 legs. You guys see that, right? You can actually see like
Yeah.
2 legs.
Actually,
It's like in there.
It's right
like
there.
walking
Even on the first
sidewalk.
one, it's right there. Look at it.
yeah.
You know, I know you guys went over like you know, paranormal like ghosts and stuff, but there is what I still believe too is there's active hauntings and echoes. So that may be a person that may have worked there and they're kind of like stuck on a loop. You know, it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
their soul and
Yeah.
energy is stuck
And
on a
there's-
loop.
And there's people that died there.
They're not going to actively bother anybody. You just
Yep.
catch them doing what they used to do in life.
So I always thought that was really cool. So I took a picture of it and kept it. And I forgot about it until we started talking earlier. And I just went back and hunted it up.
Yeah, when you
Yeah,
sent that to me, I was like, I don't see nothing in this one. And then when you start talking about it, I was like, oh shit, there it is.
That's
Yeah,
why you got to be careful with pareidolia, though.
And it's
I
I would
wife
think if
and-
it was a shadow, you would see like something else across the snow leading to it. The way the
Yeah.
angle of the light's
Yeah.
hitting it, whatever the shadow is, should be on the ground as well in the
Yeah,
snow.
it would be right next to it. That shadow, like you're not separated by your shadow very far.
Right.
So there's nobody in that snow. There's nobody that walked in that snow either.
Nope, it looks completely bare.
So who took this picture again?
They probably paid a photographer to come out and just take a bunch of pictures of different facilities, and then they made prints of them and then put them up in buildings just for decoration back in like the 70s or 80s.
That was a
Just
big
to make
thing,
the
too.
inside concrete walls look better.
And that's where you work, Chris?
Yes.
Huh. That's
Yes.
interesting, bro.
See, all power plants do that. Even the power plant I worked at did the same thing. Had these old pictures of, the power plant when it was first built and all that. First
Right.
came online. They all do it.
So Chris, you were on the boat with me and Gilly in the early days in Yokosuka. Did you ever experience anything weird?
On the boat itself?
Yeah, like, because I mean, Macaulay had a fucking story about a thing on the sidelines or the lifelines.
Smoke deck.
Yeah, smoke deck.
Right.
But he hasn't contacted us, and we haven't been able to contact him, or he hasn't contacted us back to talk about it. So, have you seen anything?
So I don't think I really experienced anything really kind of cryptid. Well, I don't know. Do you guys remember seeing that sunfish we seen one day? Do you know what those are?
Yeah, I know what a sunfish is. I don't remember seeing that.
No, I
It was
don't.
huge. It was like 8 to 10 foot long, and it was probably like 6, 7 foot wide. And I don't think it was dead, but it was up on top of the water, which I guess is a rare thing, or, well, I guess they do it a lot. I remember going out on the the fantail when just to go out there and burn one, and then you had the guy on watch back there. And I remember when we didn't have any moonlight or stars. Did you guys ever go back then when it was like so dark you couldn't see your hand in front of your face?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And go out there and just stand, and it was crazy to me that after 15 minutes you could actually start to see.
Well, what was cool was like we would see the what's that thing that makes the fluorescent?
The phosphorescence in the water from the algae.
Yes.
Yeah.
After that time, you would start seeing that stuff. But it wasn't all the time, but it was so dark out there. Yeah, you could not see. And then if it was a really clear night, you could see all the stars and constellations and everything. It was pretty amazing.
It was wild. I wish I could show people that sometimes. Like, you're just sitting around talking with your wife, and it's like, man, I wish you could see that once in your lifetime. Some of the stuff that we experienced.
I mean, it's like you're in a desert of water and stars. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
It's a pretty cool thing to see, and it's
To see the
I guess-
Milky Way,
Yeah.
like so vivid and 3D, like it's crazy.
If
kinda
I
miss
ever had,
that.
I don't know how those deck seamen stood watch, on aft watch, right? I'd fall asleep out there.
I know.
Well, you used to fall asleep all the time, Delp.
Hey, I was accused, but I never did.
You and Fiero.
Oh, I never slept. I just had my head down. I was talking on the fucking phones at the same time.
So you got out of the Navy after that, right? After the Fife?
No, I went to the Paul F. Foster.
Really?
went to-
1964?
Yeah.
Didn't Macaulay go to that one too?
No, I think he went to a big boat.
No,
if
he
I
went to
remember
David
right.
R. Ray, if I remember correctly, the frigate.
Oh, that was 963, right?
Yeah, that's right, 963.
I think McCully went to David R. Ray.
I thought he went to a big boat. I
I
thought.
mean, I could be wrong.
That's it. That's interesting. So you never saw or experienced anything in the engine rooms or anything, huh?
You know, sometimes the sounds, but you had to, realize you're in the ocean and shit was making sounds. I mean, it would pop, crash, something would hit on the side. Because we were underwater most of the time, under the water line. So when you're on watch and you're just kicked back and you'd hear stuff hit the sides every once in a while but I never could pin anything to, I don't know, any kind of scary kind of stuff.
So you never heard disembodied voices in Maine 2 or anything like that?
Nope.
Or Gen
Never
3?
heard anything. Nope.
Well, Maine 1 had the thing, right? Was it Maine 1? Gilly?
Lil Tate would know that. Because he heard the voice of Maid One.
What about remember they said there was a guy that hung himself?
See, I heard that story too, but they said, like Stafford and Johnson, they'd say, well, it was on as soon as we came in, the upper level, right there by where our lockers are at, by the entrance, right there. But I never saw anything or anything.
We need to get a hold of those guys and see if they'll come on and talk about it. Maybe they saw something.
I got Stafford on my stuff.
I do too. I don't think he will though. So I don't know. He might be too old for that. Who knows?
He ain't too old for that.
Old Bill, man. I remember that guy. He used to make me laugh. He was a good dude.
He was funny as hell.
Yeah, he was. Johnson cracked me up with the fucking baby bald eagles shit. That shit was so fucking stupid but funny.
Oh God, we all got some stories.
Yeah,
Rocky catching me behind the electrical panel in the upper level.
Oh my God, dude!
Was you jerking off to fucking with those old penthouses we had down there?
Yeah, out behind the electrical panel on the boiler level. Yeah. And then Rocky just goes walking around.
I was on mid-watch, most likely. I think it was a mid-watch, dude.
Yeah, I think I was the operator and you were the
ERM, the monitor.
Yeah.
Those were the days, though, man. Like,
I
if
know.
you think about it, like almost every person on that ship was a fucking character.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you could make a movie. Like, you could make like 20, 30 movies about the fucking people that were on the USS Fife alone.
It would
just Maine 2, and then you could have another episode for Maine 1. Oh, then you could do for the engineering space or for the other Ox guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it would be the new
meth
McHale's
lab
baby.
Well, we had a meth lab.
I heard about that, but I didn't know much about it, dude.
Oh.
Well, fuck.
What was that guy's name? I forgot.
I think it was in Maine 1, right?
No, it was in in one of the evaporator rooms.
I just remember, I remember when that guy got caught for money laundering in Victoria, Canada.
Oh, goodness. I don't remember that.
He was
already gone when that happened?
Dude, we went there in 1998. 1998, we went to Victoria, Canada.
Then I was there then.
And we went to Victoria, Canada, and NCIS met this dude on the shore while he was trying to go on Liberty, and they fucking arrested his ass for money laundering.
We've had NCIS on the boat quite a few times for different things.
Oh, what's his name still on the rice in Japan, where he was taking it out in town and giving it to his in-laws? Do you remember that?
Yeah. Was it Alameda? No, it wasn't him.
I can't remember who it was. I think it was a white guy. He was with this Japanese girl, and then I think he was taking the big 50-pound sacks of rice to his parents or something.
Well, it wouldn't be Hugo, because Hugo, that was bigger than him.
No, if I remember right, he was skinny, white guy with blonde hair. Oh, he works in the mess deck.
He was an MS. Fuck. God damn it.
Yeah, he was an MS.
Fuck. The one I remember that's kind of blonde hair was Perez or Pirates.
Well, we had another one. His name was Christian Turner. He was a good dude, though. He wasn't. He looked more like Popeye. He was a wrestler, so he was buffer.
Oh yeah, this guy was more skinny.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it could have been before you guys came on. I don't remember.
Well, I remember
'Cause
people talking about it.
So,
Yeah.
Chris, were you there when Commander Tamayo had passed?
No, I got on right after.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
just
was
right
after.
after.
Yep.
So, what do you remember about that? Was it a pretty intense time?
I heard a lot of good stories. I just heard about the him dying pretty much in his bed, a heart attack. And then they ended up, everybody was talking about they put him in the freezer and he was well respected. So, and I heard the stories, they always talked about him. He was the one who would stop the boat and go water skiing behind the boat and had his skis. And, I heard a lot of good stories about him.
Rocky, that could have been the guy that turned on the faucet for you there at Ox One.
Dude, I don't know, man.
Because I was right there by the
That
fucking freezers.
shit, that shit scared dude, that shit scared the fucking shit out of me.
And Lil Tate, that could have been the one that yelled at you for pissing in deep sink and going, hey.
Oh, the sink and Ox One?
I mean, a lot of people would yell.
One-
at
No,
me
that
for
was in
but
Main one.
Main one you pissed, but Rocky had the water turned
yeah.
on. He came back in
like,
the essential.
no,
I'll never
it
go
was an
back
Ox-
down there again.
It was an Ox 2, dude. I was standing
Ox 2.
security, and Eureka was the EO, right? And I guess I was sounding security. This was before I got ERM. And or maybe I was the DC3. I don't remember, man. But I went down there to take like temperatures and check oil or whatever it is back then. And the fucking sink turned on while I was taking the temperature on the other side. You know how you had the bench right there? It was like a workbench. The thermometer was right there. And then on the other side, it had a big ass deep sink. That deep sink turned on by itself and scared the fucking shit out of me.
So I think that's a sink that they used for samples when they were running the evaporator. Are you
Yeah,
talking that one?
I don't know.
Because if you started the evaporator, I think if you left it open, then it would kick
No,
water
there
out.
were no evaporators in Ox 2. It was just the port
No,
shaft. It was the port shaft, and then the other side, on the starboard side, it was the incinerators.
and the
Oh.
fuel, and the fuel.
Oh, and
Uh,
the fuel. Okay,
Yep.
gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
the fuel. Yeah.
Where the fuel filters were, the coalescer filters.
Yep.
The
Oh, no,
damn it.
well, the coalescer filters, I don't remember them being there because
Not
this is
coalescer,
like,
but the spin ones, we call them. My mind went
Yeah.
blank.
No, you're right. It's the fuel purifiers were down in Ox 1
Yeah,
and Ox
the
2.
separator, the fuel separator purifiers.
Yep.
They
Those
had
are
the
Ox
big,
1,
it
Ox
had
2.
it had the big discs like this that you stacked. It wasn't like the three-wing lube oil one. It was the discs.
Yep. That was fuel Ox 1, Ox 2.
yeah, but I mean, I don't know. That shit scared the fucking shit out of me. And I slammed I dogged down the door. You know how you could dog down that door right in CCS on the port side, right
Yeah,
by the oil lab. You're like, boom, and it slams down. I'm like, I'm never fucking going down there again. Fuck you guys.
that's the door
I'm going off
everybody
this.
slammed. That door was so loose. I don't even know if it was ever watertight. It was slammed so many times.
You're 100% correct.
Well, and that probably comes from fucking Lieutenant Haynes. Remember the big old MPA we had?
Oh yeah,
That big motherfucker?
he was huge.
The baseball player.
No. MPA.
Yeah, he was
Haynes.
he was gonna go pro, but somehow he didn't make it.
No, he's the weightlifting dude.
Yeah, but I think he did.
It
He
makes
did go
me
to
so mad. I
college.
cannot remember the fucking female MPA that fucking she like switched around the fucking the fuel and the fuel water, the discard. She switched around those fucking
Wait, I think it was Williams.
Williams, yeah, the
Black
one
chick.
from
Black chick.
Jamaica.
Yeah.
From
no, she was
Jamaica.
white.
Oh, different one.
Well, we never had a white female MPA. We had a
Yeah, we did.
I had a engineering
Wasn't there
officer.
wasn't there a
Yeah.
little blonde?
It had Bowles. It's a Bowles. She was
Nope.
the below the MPA.
Nope. The MPA, she was dark haired. She had a again, it was like no, it was She
wonder
had
about what year.
book.
We can break out my cruise book from 2000.
Because we got what's her name from Jamaica, Williams,
Yep.
right in Hawaii when we did that. Oh, you're going to Everett.
No, this was a dark-haired woman after Everett. So,
Oh, okay.
fuck.
Let me see here. I got the MP division out. All right. Let me get the
She must have
engineering.
been when I was off.
All right. See here. Let me
Yeah, I
break out
think
the
you
cruise
were
book.
gone,
Goddamn it.
though.
Because I left to go to C school and then I come back to the other
No,
boat.
you were gone, Del, for
All
sure.
right. All right. I was wrong. Sarah Ball was the MP division officer.
She was amazing, and then whoever took out over after her, fuck, she was a pianist. That was why she was an officer. It's because she could play the fucking piano. Fuck.
Oh, she was like a music major.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Actually, no, no. I was right. Sarah Ball was the MP division officer. MPA at the time in 2000. His picture's not in here. Lieutenant JG Eric Lork, main propulsion assistant.
I remember him.
Nope.
We had a warrant officer too.
There was another officer.
Well, it
after
might have been
them.
that warrant officer didn't stay there very fucking long either.
Yeah, that warrant officer was my
Little skinny girl,
yeah.
shorter than me. Because she wasn't on the cruise in 2000 because she's not in our book at all. See, the MPA was a man in 2000, and the Ensign Boyle was the MP division officer.
I don't remember.
You guys remember Williams when she came on board that she had to tie that trash bag on her side?
Oh, yeah.
She did that for like a month.
I had to do that shit when I was cranking because I would get sick.
Yeah, I
Like,
used to
I'd
fuck
be
with
sick
you
all
too
the time.
because we was cranking at the same time. I'd fuck with you. I'd have a dip in, roll my dip out of my tongue like, you're like, motherfucker.
Dude, it took me so long to fucking get sea legs.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I remember
even
that
with
first day you came on board.
The Dramamine didn't even work for me, dude. I thought I'd be fine, dude. Because I was so excited.
That has to be the Asian in you. Because remember, almost all the Filipino guys, they would always get sick the first day out we went out.
Dude, I was sick all the fucking time for like a month or two. I stopped getting sick around February when we went to Singapore and shit like that.
That's because you're from Cali. Come on now.
Oh, I don't know, dude. I don't know.
So when old Winston, he was the same way too. I seen him laid up by the fucking wells and shit, man, fucking dying.
Man, King Winston, man, cool. I call him King Winston. That's my boy, man. I miss that dude. He was a good dude, man.
Yeah,
he was.
I can't believe he went from after he went after fireman, he went straight to RM, right? Radio man. I can't believe he went DC. I never knew that for a long time.
He was so quiet too.
He was smart. He didn't open his mouth and make himself look like an idiot like everyone else did.
You know? Hey, I was trying to remember when I reported on board the Filipino guy we had in Maine 2, and damn it, I can't remember his name. Bill was already there, and I think he left. Gilly was there with him, I believe.
Rocky would have been there too, because Rocky got to boat a week before I did.
Maybe.
Filipino guy?
Yeah. He was like GSM 2.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Shoot.
I know you're talking
Baldos.
About.
Baldos came
no,
on.
Not Baldos.
No, not Baldos.
Not Baldos.
Baldos came on board as an E3 from, I think, a boiler or something.
Yeah.
Wasn't he a BT?
Yeah.
Same as Boz. And then,
but
anyway, it reminded me. So when I reported on board my first day, and I went down to the engine room, the coalescer filters down there, the fuel filters, he was changing them. I think it was him and Bill. And I came downstairs, and that's the first thing. They had the lids off of them. And I remember the first day that you came on board, I was changing the coalescer filters, and you walked downstairs, and you're like, hey, I'm here. And that was a story about when I sent you upstairs for the wrench.
Be a
You,
rocket.
Or
you
was
want
it
you,
was it that or was it the sea chest?
no. I sent you for I think a 9/16 socket and a wrench, and then you come back with a hammer and a screwdriver, and you said, "I thought that's what you needed."
Oh,
And I was
what
like,
be
"Where are
then?
you?" I was like, "Where are you from?" And you said California, and I'm like, "That's why." And then
Yeah.
I was like,
After
"Did you
that, I
ever?"
learned. I soon learned about tools and their uses. I
Yeah.
remember you told me about the non-resident training course at NRTC.
But but you straight up told me you said like we don't change our oil. I don't do nothing. So I was like, cool, you know.
Yeah. When I got there, dude, I was like, "What the fuck did I get myself into working in a fucking engine room?"
I know. And then you know, we got out and then I look at Facebook and see your posts and stuff and you making chief and I'm like so proud. I'm like, that's my boy.
Yeah, dude, it took me 17 and a half years to make chief, but I made it as an MA.
Because you remember Delp, he was always the one. Fuck the Navy.
Fuck
Fuck it.
today,
I'm getting
fuck
out.
Oh
it.
yeah, I'm getting out as soon as I can.
And I ended up staying in and
Yep.
I ended up doing 24 years, bro, just like Lil Tate right over here.
That's badass.
You know, I don't regret doing it. I just wish that I probably would have made a higher rank, but by the time I made chief, I was so unpolitically correct that there's no way they're going to let me make rank because I would tell the truth and piss everyone off.
Well, then we taught you good.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, because that's what you fucking need. You need that in the world all the time, whether it's about politics or cryptids or jellyfish or fucking jelly donuts. Which one
Yep.
tastes better? Not what you think it is, you know?
Oh yeah.
And he did his time without going to Mast.
I
I
never, yeah,
know.
dude, I never went to mast. I came close.
If you would have went to Mast beforehand, you would have made Chief a lot faster. That's
Oh,
what Torbo
I
always
probably would have
said.
made Master Chief.
Well, they kept giving me my shit back, so you should have went. I mean, it's not like they take anything but a couple months, half months pay. They always give you your rank back.
Well, I got my
Went
rank
to the
back one time
how
after I hit this fucking commander at Bahrain in 2002, the XO off the Denver.
What? I didn't hear about that one.
Well, we was all drunk, right? We was coming back from, base, all drunk as hell. Then I had this guy that was signed out with me. He worked in Maine too. I was in Maine one. And I said, you sit your drunk ass right here, because he was kind of like Calf, had that attitude, he'd fight anybody, right?
Right.
I said, sit your drunk ass down. I'm gonna go inside this little 7-Eleven here. I said, I want a burrito and a Mountain Dew. I'm fucking hungry. He said, okay. He said, Jay, I got you. Next thing I know, I'm paying for everything. I'm hearing this commotion. I was like, Eichert, what the fuck? I rashed up. I grabbed him. I said, come on, let's go. I said, we don't need this shit. And this guy pushed me from behind. I turned around and fucking beat the hell out of him. And then they grabbed me, and HM grabbed me, said, come on, Jason, let's go. This motherfucker made it to the boat before I did, to the laboon. And he was like, there's that motherfucker. I said, you ready for round two, motherfucker? I said, let's go. So next day, I got woken up straight to captain's mast. But I am getting my E5. I am getting my E5 back for that one because he was an officer that started the fight.
Right.
But I still had to do 60 days of restriction on the boat, but we wouldn't pull it in for 60 fucking days after that. So I was good.
I had my remember I had my girlfriend up in the sounding room down there. Well, she ended up being my wife later. I did 30 days in freaking CCU for that shit.
Your girlfriend?
30 days. Yeah, my girlfriend at the time. We ended up getting married. Well, we might have been married at the time.
On the 5?
Yeah,
he
up
was
in the
married.
sounding room. Yeah, we were already married at the time. Yeah,
Yeah,
Who
that's
was
right.
that?
Well, I was on restriction for something. I can't remember what I did.
and she came to the
But
boat
anyway,
to
and
see
she
you.
came to the boat to see me. And then we went to the sounding room, and that's when that one chick, she was an officer or a chief. She came down there to do something in the forward sounding room, and I had it wedged shut. She was banging on the door, let me in, and so finally I did, and then we had all got dressed and stuff back again. But Yeah, so she turned me in and I had to do fucking 30 days at CCU, which is the fucking brig and banger. You don't remember that?
I do.
I don't remember that, dude. That's hilarious,
Yeah.
dude. That's a fucking funny ass fucking sea story right there, dude. That's pure gold right there. That just shows the tenacity of the fucking sailor to be with the girl he loved.
So they didn't take any money from me. They didn't take any rank from me, but I had to go to that CCU, corrective custody unit, which pretty much you went and worked at the fucking brig.
Hmm.
So you went into the one area that no other actual prisoners were, but you were kind of in the same
Amazing.
cell as they were.
Incredible.
And then you had to go like sweep
Outstanding.
floors and
Amazing.
all kinds of crap. Do colors and go running and it's like boot camp again.
That's fucking hilarious, bro. Oh, that's so funny, dude.
You don't remember that?
No, man. Like, dude, I don't remember a whole lot because I was drunk almost the whole fucking time.
That's true.
Dude, like I was a fucking party animal.
Hey, who was it that fell out when they ate the lizard that one morning when we were mustering in Japan?
They ate the lizard.
Yeah, they ate the lizard out of one of the Japanese liquor bottles or whatever, kind of like the worm and the tequila.
Oh,
Oh,
was
dude.
that
Is that
Davis or
Garcia?
Tamayo? Or maybe Good?
Tamayo, good. Garcia.
No, if I remember, he was like either Mexican or
Grahava.
Filipino.
It might have been. That might have been like Grava.
I think it
No.
was. I think it was one of the GSEs.
Hmm.
Damn
That
it.
would make sense.
Yeah, we were all mustering there, and he just like totally just collapsed.
Well, hell, at that time we was all swaying at that time at quarters. At that
Hey,
time,
when we did the paint fight, when I painted your whole fucking coveralls white, was that in Washington or
that was in Yoko,
in Yoko?
Yeah, that was in Yokosuka. I remember
because
that.
me and you had first got to the ship, and then they told us to paint the fucking boiler. Then here comes fucking Chief Turbo. The fuck is wrong with you jackasses? We
No.
had
Hey,
more paint. We had more paint
the
on
way
us.
they
We did the fucking
discovered-
boiler.
No, what happened is you started painting me, or you did this with the fucking paintbrush. I was like, man, fuck you, and we started running around each other. And then you went to fucking quarters in those fucking painted
Oh
I did
yes.
too.
So that's when they had
paint strips because
that's when they had the Japanese guys come in and take the asbestos off of the boiler and put new lagging on it, and you guys were painting that new lagging. I remember that.
oh man, that should be a scene in the fucking movie. It would be hilarious.
And it took forever for that fucking paint to soak in to that fucking
I know, because
new
they had to
lagging.
go through that fresh mesh
Yes.
and it would just go right down in it.
And it was, I mean, that was worse than painting fresh fucking drywall.
Yeah,
You know,
It was
I'm like,
way worse.
I would never want to do that again, ever. Try to paint that shit without a sprayer. You know,
Do you remember when I bought that sprayer when we went to God, where was that? We were overseas and it was whatchamacallit, that's the
Guam.
yeah, Guam, and I went to Kmart and I bought that Wagner paint sprayer.
yep,
Then we painted a whole bunch of shit real fast.
yeah, we did. And Basel
And
couldn't figure out why we was painting so fast.
Yeah, Boswell's in main one, and like his shit looked like crap.
He's
And then
like,
you come back
bitch,
to main
what
two.
the fuck, bitch, Why's your shit
Yeah.
look like bitch, Here you go, get paid, bitch,
Hmm.
That was probably the best fucking tool we had for that time at that time for painting. I mean,
Oh yeah, because we had to paint every fucking thing all
Oh,
the
fuck.
time.
that and the fucking P way. We always had to fucking paint the P way too. Fucking
What was the color code for yellow and white? I forget. Was that fuel or is that lube oil?
Fuel was yellow.
Yellow and black. Yellow and black.
and then yellow
That's
and
lube oil.
purple.
Yellow, black's
yeah,
lube
lube
oil.
oil.
that was
yeah.
lube oil, right? Yeah.
yes, yep.
That's funny remembering that shit because it was so fucking funny at the time. Because,
All right.
now in the Navy, if you did the shit you did right now, bro, they would fucking freak out.
Oh yeah, they
They
couldn't
would
handle
freak
it.
out and have a heart attack because someone figured out a way to get the job done quicker and better and more efficiently than the stupid gay way that they want you to do it.
Especially if you're on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
West Coast it's probably still a little different, you know. But the East Coast, man, they fucking flip out in a heart attack because they're so close to DC.
Hey
Also,
Gilly, if
yeah,
if I told you to open one tac 1-1, where would you be?
fuck, I don't remember that.
What? As many times?
No, I don't remember that at all. I mean, I know the one tack 1-1, but I don't remember where it's at down there.
So you would have been in Main 2. So the one tac 1-1 was the fill for the boiler makeup water.
Okay.
Remember? So you had to have them start the evaporator, but you
Yep.
couldn't have it closed. You had to
Okay.
open it first. Or if you shut it while they were running the evaporator to
Yep.
you, then you would screw up the evaporator
Yep. See,
and then
that's a
they'd
lot of
beat your
see
ass.
shit like that. Even though I did it many times, right? Some of that shit I have forgotten.
Oh yeah, I have too.
Dude, I've forgotten so many things. Like there's a lot of things that I remember from the five when I wasn't drunk. There's a lot of things I don't remember. Like, uh James was talking about when they taped me up and everything when I got there.
You don't remember
I
that?
don't remember that, dude. I'm like, was I drunk at the time?
Weren't you the first one on the damn monorail?
I don't know. I think other people went on the monorail before me, but that was I'm trying to remember. He says there might be a picture of me. So
There
that
was a picture. I remember there being a picture of you on the monorail.
dude, we gotta find it if there's anything.
All of my pictures, I sent like almost all of my pictures. That was like pre-digital, pretty much all of them to my mom. And then my mom and my dad got divorced, so they're in his house and nobody talks to him. She left them all there, so I guess I won't get any of those until he passes away. But I have lots of pictures I wish that I could
Yeah.
just go get.
Where in West Virginia?
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. Maybe I'll bug her and see if she'll
Road
make them
trip, homie,
come
road
up.
trip. Because
Eh,
like that's like just a picture right there is like a fucking story.
I know. And it's like I go online sometimes. I'm like, does anybody have any pictures of me? Because I don't even have any pictures of me. And I'm like, do we even have proof I was there?
Dude, I got pictures of me doing this in camis when I was on the 2000 deployment going.
And I remember all the pictures we did on like crossing the equator and all of that stuff. And I'm like, man, I just want to find all those pictures again.
You gotta get those back, bro, because those are like good history right there. Good history, good stories.
Well,
You
maybe Sprecher has some of that shit because he was
Scott
always
might
taking
have that stuff.
Some
pictures.
some people would take lots of pictures, and then some of us just didn't. I didn't take a lot, but I did take some.
Rahava might have some too.
He may,
I
yeah.
mean, I took some, but I lost all mine. I don't know where the hell they went
hmm
to.
I'm lucky with my house fire that I had sent them all to my mom, and just she would put them up in the upstairs attic or their cabin, and she just left them there. So I went through them one time, and I remember seeing so many pictures, and I was kind of amazed how many I did send back home,
Yeah.
and of some of the ports we went to, because we went to a lot of good ports. So
Oh yeah. I wish I still had that video that I took in fucking Thailand in 2000.
you took a video?
Uh-huh.
Well, it wasn't as bad as those other guys that were filming porn.
Well, it
You
ended up
remember
being,
that?
yeah, but it ended up being porn I filmed in 2000 because I was like, I thought because I had Australia on a different tape, so I came back home on leave. You know, mom and dad wanted to see Australia. Well, I popped in the
Uh-oh.
wrong fucking tape. It was all they heard was this fucking little Asian girl fucking, moaning. I was
Oh
like, oh
my
fuck, wrong
God.
tape. Mom goes, what's that? Dad goes, well, Sherry, you know what that is.
gosh.
And little Tate wasn't there that night. He had to go back for duty because me and him had been getting that Sea Pearl, a hotel. So he had duty, and I didn't have duty that whole time.
Yeah, you fucked him over on that one.
Lucky bastard.
Hey, I can't help it that Cav wanted to take my duty in Thailand because I took his duty in Australia. So,
How is old
That's
Cav
because his
doing,
wife
man? Is
showed
Cav
up.
doing all right?
They went to
oh,
vacation.
Cav's doing good. He's on his
Doing
way.
good?
He's on his way to compensate Lucas right now for him and his wife's 25th anniversary.
Oh, I love
Oh,
that place, dude. He should go to Senior Frogs again.
Oh, he's going to play. He's going to go back to Cabo Wabo. I said, don't forget about Cabo Wabo.
remember last time in Cabo was my birthday and I was on restriction.
Yep.
Dude, I remember when you were at duty the night that it changed from it changed from December 31st, 1997 to January 1998. I was on duty with you that day.
Oh,
You were
yeah.
doing the ship lights and everything.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, bro.
right.
I remember that. I was like, that's one of the few memories I have from the
I
Fife
forgot about that.
where you turned the lights on and everything. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, because it was a holiday, so
Yeah.
that was badass. I totally forgot about that. I think I spent every holiday on duty. I think I volunteered like all the time because I really didn't have a family. So the other guys that had a family, I would always volunteer for duty for whatever holiday.
I did that a lot too. When we come back from deployment, I'd take like a couple days. Finally got in trouble by Chief Smith because he found out I was taking money. He's like, you got to have one of these guys swap with you.
Yep.
Was that when Joe made fucking chief, or was he still first class at that time
Nah, it's when he made Chief.
when he made chief?
Yeah.
Because I remember when he
That
got
was
to the Fife, he was first class when he got there.
Yeah, he was the first class when I got there, and he picked up Chief.
Yeah, because I remember him picking up chief right before I left. I think it
Yeah.
was.
I remember using my debit card and a dollar bill to get on base. Wrap the dollar bill around the debit card because it was the same damn color.
Because you lost your ID, didn't you?
Yeah. And then
You ain't
went
supposed
out
to
and like,
lose that
fuck
shit.
it. Nope. It worked though. But then when you got to the ship, if everybody knew who you were, you didn't even have to
Yep.
show them anything. So
So when you got to the Foster, did you get in trouble on the Foster like you did the Fife?
no, no, I was short time on the Foster. So by the time I finished C school and got there, I think I only did like 8 months. So we didn't even go anywhere.
Was that ship like ours or was it like completely lame?
So it was exactly like ours, but there were small differences that was kind of weird. I can't remember exactly the small differences, but there was differences. And then I'd always been in main 2 and they put me in main 1. So then that put me at another disadvantage, because shit, I knew main 2 like the back of my hand. I didn't need any procedure or anything to run anything in there. So it was a little different, but their politics was different. It was a little bit more strict,
Did
but
they
they
have
had some good guys on there.
Did they have
They
the
had some.
personalities on the Fife like on the Fife?
Hell no. That's what you were missing was like the personalities. Everything was like dry and they had kind of some cool things. Like if you walked into main 2 and you remember the big air flask for the air compressor or the air compressor tank. So they had painted theirs like a Foster's beer can.
Oh, that's cool.
So they took like they squared or did the square lines and blew it up and then hand drew it and then painted it all on there like we did in art class in high school or whatever, blew it up, and that was really cool. And then the forward engine room had something else. I can't remember what it was, but I'd always wanted to do something in main 2, like when you first walked in and you had the 2 exhausts. I was thinking of putting like Caterpillar logo on one and then John Deere on the other one or something. And I don't think we ever did
Well,
that because nobody
one
would let
time we
us.
did, Grahava painted the side of fucking 2 Alpha and 2 Bravo, right? Remember that?
Oh yeah.
And
But
then
what did we put on there though?
I don't
We
remember,
put
but I remember when Desron came on board, right?
we had
They
to
made us
cover it
paint
up.
over that shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't remember.
Did we put a Caterpillar logo on there and then John Deere logo?
I don't know if it was exactly that or what, but I remember Grahava, since he was the artist that made too.
Right.
You know, I remember it was painting 2 Alpha and 2 Bravo.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Then we had paint over it. We're like, what the fuck? That was before Little Tank got there, if I remember right. That was like 98. We had to paint over it.
Yeah, because you guys had already painted over everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell, we painted over everything 15 times. Every underway. Oh, you remember that? Remember that night we were doing sub ops and I was down in the bilge on the side of the hull and I'm down there with the needle gun, just needle gunning the shit out of it. And then I think who came down? Was it the XO or the combat officer?
It was the XO, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was like the XO, and I was like totally fucking surprised. And he comes down there like tapping on my shoulder. What the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, I'm fucking working, man. That's what we do down here. And he's like, we're doing fucking sub ops. We're trying to be fucking quiet. I wonder how long I was doing that until they figured out what the fuck was even going on. Because I think I was laying down there doing it for hours.
Well, because they never told us in the edge groups that was doing sub ops. They never told us.
No.
Do you
never
have
said,
a 5 hat, Del?
I do. I have one, yeah. I don't wear it that often because it's almost worn out. So
Which one
I
you
think I
got?
might
Cross
end up ordering
flags?
another one. I
You
got
have
the
the
cross
Japanese
flags.
one?
Yeah, the
Cross flags.
Japanese one. Yeah. I should probably order another one. I seen where somebody was selling. I think it was Sprecher.
Yeah,
I think he
Sprecher
was
had a
selling
made.
some. Yeah, and I never got one from him.
I got the last one. He sent me the last one not too long
He
ago.
did.
Yeah.
How good
I'm
were
a
those?
huh?
Pretty good hats, actually.
Oh, pretty good. Yeah. Now I got my mom trying to recreate that same hat because she does embroidery.
Oh,
And
really?
so now she's working on getting since those stars are so small. And
It's hard to do.
Mom goes, that's gonna be a pain in the ass, but she goes, she thinks she can do it. So
Well, if she can come close, tell me.
yeah,
I'll
that's why
definitely
I
buy
told her. I
one or
said, as
two.
long as you come close, it doesn't matter. It doesn't
Oh,
have to
yeah.
be the original thing, just something that, hey, you know, but I just got to get the hats order and give it to her too. So
Yeah, that'd be badass. I was trying. I still want to find Max. I know he was such a dipshit, but I spent a lot of time with him in
Dude,
Yakuza.
I remember Fierro, but I also don't. I don't remember what he did.
Well, he didn't really do anything because his quals never went very far at all.
Did he go to Washington?
Yes, he went to
Yeah.
Washington with us.
Did he stay there that long, or did he get booted out after that?
I think he got booted out. And I think if you remember, do you remember when we had that flood up where it actually flooded like the Yeoman's area?
yep.
And I think he was the one that was on watch that was
Sound
doing the
security.
sounding, and it was like like they couldn't believe that he had. I think he gun decked the rounds and didn't actually check it because it came out of one of those tanks.
Oh man.
So it would have taken hours and hours for it to fill, supposedly with the leak or whatever was there. So he ended up, and it was something else. They added a whole bunch of stuff at one time. They pretty
Well,
much
he
just
actually got
went
caught
on
sleeping too.
that too. But he ended up getting booted out in Everett. And then when he left, I've never heard anything again, like period. And I know his full name. I can't spell it, but I looked everywhere.
Remember the guy I
Fierro.
told you that's we're gonna have come over and talk about the cryptids that he saw?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Do you mind having him talk real quick, fellas?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Grab a chair, Jay. Jay, right? Here. Come here. It's Jay.
He's
He's
in there by the birthday boy. Give the birthday boy a big old kiss.
Stick your finger in his ear.
that's not a problem. Don't chat. No
Yeah,
kiss.
give him wet Willie.
I think you're taller than him. Am I? I think so.
Yeah, you taller than 5'9"? Well, I'm 69. That's the magic number.
I'm fat as fuck,
So-
though. I also Ugh.
So this is Jay. He's one of my son's friends, and he was a truck driver. Go ahead and tell the first story.
Oh,
Because look at the description of what he says, and I think it's a rake. I don't know, guys.
Let me
What do
see
you?
if we still got that up somewhere. I think I
The
have it.
picture.
real quick, where I was at actually. I just
No,
remember.
Tate, you still got that one? There he goes.
Yeah, that looks really. Yeah, but
That's
I never
what-
saw its face. I saw its
That's what
eggy ass head behind it,
That's what it looked like.
ish. But it was tall, like lanky as hell.
All right, so start from the beginning. What year was it?
I would say like 2011,
And you were driving where in Pennsylvania?
80, 90. You know where the Chris Park, that cross where it comes down to Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're on that. And Arturo, he was my co-driver at the time. We were doing teams with Warner Enterprises.
Just look at the camera while you're doing it, bro.
Where's the camera at? Is it right here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're good. You're good, man.
Ow, he poked me in the eye.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I wish I would have had one of those noises like,
So 80, 90, there's a part where there's a path where you can't see the oncoming traffic at all, period, at night, especially when it's snowing. It was snowing enough that there was like little bits where you can high beam a little bit. I turned my high beams on, and my co-driver, Arturo, guy I never got sleep with because he back then you could text. Like no one's gonna get in trouble for that. So he would text, and I was having issues keeping awake. And I told him, say, "Hey man, sing me a song." And he's like, "Nah." So I was like, "All right, well, fuck it." So we're driving down. We're going westbound to Cali,
Calixico?
that one, yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to go there because we're doing Harley Davidson account. So anywho, I'm coming down the road like going about like I think it was like 60, 62, 63 because I didn't really give a shit that night. Warner had the deal with the trucks were governed at 65. If you bonus, it was good enough. But if you kept it at 63, you get a fuel bonus, and that's what it's working for. So anywho, while we're driving down, I look out of the corner of my eye and I see this thing just walking across. I was like, man, is that a naked ass old man? And then I like look at its head and I was like, there's no way. That guy has no clothes on. I was like, what the fuck? And then Arturo was like, bro, what's going on? I was like, come up here, look at this. He's like, what happened? I was like, I saw some old ass dude in the road. And so he took on we had a dash cam in the center just in case we got in accidents. Back then, Werner's casualty to accident ratio was pretty high. So, anywho, he checked and wrote back the film. He's like, man, I don't know what you saw, but that is not a human being. And I was like, I don't know. It was tall, pale. You could see its hands, but it was like down on its side, like walking like an old ass. Like you seen those footage of the Bigfoot where it's like walking like a weird ass dude, and
Like
you can
the
see
one
the
from
man tits on it. Yeah.
1967? Yeah.
Obviously a hoax, but anywho, you could see it, but it was like looking around like this, and then it ran back over, and I was like, "What the fuck did I just look at?"
How tall do you think it was?
It could see over on our truck, so we had an old Intertractional, and it could see over the like hood.
So how tall do you think that hood was on that truck back then?
6, 7 feet tall.
It was taller than that?
Yeah.
Easily on those trucks.
Yeah, it looked like it, man. I was terrified. I was like, there's no freaking way.
So show that picture of the rake again, Jay, or whoever's got it, please.
So did it have like longer fingers and like arms down
Yeah,
like
like-
to the knees?
From what I've seen, the hands were like elongated and black at the end.
Like there's a picture right there. It looks like Wolverine claws.
I'm sweating like a
But
pig. so just not used to it.
like that or no?
Rocky, keep your hands up on the table where we can see him.
Yeah, like that one right there.
Like that?
Yeah, but it was taller.
So that's what a rake looks like. You may have saw a rake.
Real?
Yeah. So that's something that other people have seen.
That
So you
chills the shit out of
I
me.
don't think you're crazy. If you thought you were crazy for
I
years,
still think I'm crazy.
you're not crazy about that. You may be
Terrified.
crazy about other things, but not that.
Sometimes
There's a
oh man, I'm like, oh.
there's a lot of websites and stuff where you can post your visual, like when you seen it, and you can post like about where and stuff like that, and then it'll show you where other people have seen them as well, and you can see if there's one at that time seen in multiple, occasions other than you too.
Well,
Yeah.
I appreciate you sharing that story. What about the other one? You were a pilot at the time?
Well, I have two. I
Go
keep
for
I
it.
keep forgetting about this one because I told my grandpa about it. But I was working at Western. It was about the time I met
Andrew?
yeah, Hudson over here. When I met him, I was talking to him. I was like, I was out in Morris, Illinois. I was parked for the day.
Mhm.
It was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I was chilling in my truck. I had the bunk up, so the bunk was folded back, and I went to sleep. I woke up like 5 o'clock. And this is in the summertime, so it's still daylight, and I had like my side tarps closed, but the bottom windows open.
Yeah.
And I woke up and I was like, "Oh shit, man, this feels weird because I can't move." And I saw these little shadowy shits darting across the top of my truck. And then I finally woke up and I called my grandpa immediately. I was like, "Dude, I think I saw some shadow people, man." And he's like, "Oh crap, that's bad omens. You should quit your job." And I was like, "Okay." It's
So you
like
shadow people? Did you
terrifying.
actually see like just shadows?
It
or
was
like
just
people?
shadows darting around, just darting around. Like it had like a weird black mist at the end of it when it was darting around the top of my bunk in my truck.
That's
It was
weird.
terrifying me. So I quit. So a little later, yeah. But the other one was a pilot. My captain or my trainer, his name is Frank, this old fat black guy, really pervy and shit. He was like, "Oh man, that serious ass. She got a big ass on that one." I was like, "Oh my god, man, come on, dude. Let's keep this PG, bro." It's like, "It doesn't matter. They can't hear us." And I was like, "All right." Well, anywho, he was a vet, so he didn't care.
Oh, had to be a vet.
Oh yeah, and he was married too, so he's like, she ain't gonna know what she won't know, and she won't gonna hurt her. I was like, so anywho, we were flying over the transatlantic. So you take that jet stream over to so if you're flying from LaGuardia to London International,
Heathrow?
yeah,
Heathrow?
you're going out this way and you're on an arc
Yeah.
trajectory, and it's faster than going down like this.
Yeah.
It's a jet stream, so you're going to hit the jet stream and go that way, and you're going to lose you're going to gain about an hour, in time, but you're losing time, so it's faster going that way instead of going backwards. So anyway, we're flying. I think we're at least the highest that we're going to be at that time, which is I think 7,000 feet at that point, because we're about to do our descent, and I was like, "Hey man, what is that right there?" And he's like, "Oh, that shit." "Man, don't worry about that. We see that shit all the time up here." And I was like, "What shit? That black ass cube? Or is it an orb?" I was like,
A
"Nigga, I have
cube?
glasses. Let me get my glasses." He said he's seen cubes, he's seen triangles, like actual triangles.
Are they
man.
just floating
They just
there?
sit there. They just sit there. They can either go down and then they just disappear, or they go up real fast and they stop and hover and they face the plane and just turn like this sometimes. And I was like, "Brother, I don't fucking believe you." So he's like, "And we're just looking at this black dot in the sky. It's a orb."
How big do you think it was compared to the plane?
Pretty relatively small. Like it's like the size of a compact car. Like one of
Okay.
those little shitty
Like a Honda Civic?
no, smaller than that. Those little fucking E cars that you can push over and probably kill
like a cube.
a little stupid little car. You can
Or the smart car.
yeah,
The Betro,
I hate those things.
the
Fucking
Geo
smart car,
Betro.
motherfuckers.
I really want to put nails underneath that tires. But it's one of those things. We saw that it's just sitting there. I was like, "Is it gonna do anything? What if someone hits that shit, man?" "Well, you'll never hear about it, so whatever." They'll just blame it on they lost it in the Pacific. I was like, whatever.
Well, that's a pretty interesting story. So there you go, fellas.
That's all I got.
People driving trucks like him right here. He's seen some crazy stuff too. Thank you for sharing that story.
Yeah,
Exactly.
thank you.
Thank
And
you.
and you're right. Like the truck drivers, those guys see a lot of stuff because they're in a lot of road at different times of the night in some of those mountainous areas and wooded areas. And I mean, I wish I had my stepdad. I wish I asked him more stories about his driving
Appreciate you.
because he was an ex-Marine. And I know he had talked a little bit about like seeing some stuff, but he kind of, kept it to himself because he was older. You know how, older people to kind of keep it to themselves because they don't want to look like they're crazy.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Yeah. I mean, no one wants to sound like they're crazy.
Well,
And what's
except
funny,
for
what he
us.
was saying reminded me of the flying triangle that I seen one night in housing. That one
Really?
gave me goosebumps. Yeah.
Is this in San Diego?
No, this was in Virginia.
Virginia. Okay.
Yeah, it was really weird. Like it was just like set of blue lights in a triangle, and there's like a break in the tree line at the housing I was at. And I was just standing out there smoking, burning one, and next thing you know, you see like this fucking flying triangle just come into the tree break and then kind of like take off. You know what I mean? Like it was gone, dude. And I was like I get goosebumps thinking about it now because I can still see it. And that one kind of put me. I told people about it, and they're like, you're fucking crazy. And I'm like, dude, we're used to seeing aircraft. This is not what I've seen. It's not an 11-17 Alpha stealth fighter, none of that shit.
So it was a triangle and it only had blue light. Did it have any other different colors?
No, and it was a stripe. It almost looked like an LED strip. Yeah. And you
But
can tell by the tree line and where it's set up, the distance.
How tall, how high do you think it was in the air?
It was probably at least 200 feet in the air when
Did
it
it
came
make any
swinging
sound?
in. Yeah.
Did it make any sounds?
No, there wasn't any sound, dude. That's what caught me off guard.
Was it being
All
still or
it
just
all it did
gliding
was
like
come
that?
coming in my view, and then that was it. And then it was gone.
Did it glide while you're watching
It was it was like a smooth motion, man. You know how aircraft, they can have a like a glide to them, and that's what it
Yeah.
had.
That's the same kind of thing that Albert Bell used to talk about on Coast to Coast with his people, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
All
that.
say that. And this was back in the 90s,
And early 2000s before he
early
quit.
2000s, and they're still seeing it now.
Yeah.
Do you think it was a drone? Like, remember we had the drone thing in New Jersey a while back?
No, this was bigger than that. This was way bigger. I mean, if it was like a Reaper, but it wouldn't match the shapes. You know what I mean? Like everybody knows the flying wing is the hardest aircraft to control, like the B-2.
Yeah.
There's so much avionics to keep that thing in the fucking air. It's ridiculous.
So it was a triangle, but it didn't look like a boomerang or anything like that.
Yeah, it was a lot sharper. Like it was way, way sharper. And like I said, you could see the profile against the city lights. That's what made it crazy. Because you have city lights, and as it's going through, you can actually see the profile.
So was it really big?
It seemed like it. I mean, I would have. Oh, it was way bigger than my finger. Like if I put it up against like this, it'd have been about that wide between the tree line.
Wow. Okay.
Let me
So
bring
yeah,
up a picture here.
I mean, that's a sighting that you saw that a lot of people that have seen all over the place, whether it's in Washington, California,
kind of like let's see here.
And this was
like the
before
Mexico
I got
City
into ancient
sightings.
aliens and shit.
Yeah,
like
like-
I hadn't got into the alien stuff that much.
Kind of like that little tape.
Yeah, a little bit wider, like a little bit angled out farther.
Yeah.
Like you can see, like it's only got like 5 lights.
Yep.
There was like 2 or 3 lights in between those up to the center.
Yeah, see, this one is there over Arizona. What
Yeah.
this was.
Yeah, its angle was a little bit farther out.
I think that one's like the Mexico City ones that he's kind of describing.
Let me see if I can bring those up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah,
And also
it was
over California too.
Yeah,
It was one that like caught me
In
off guard. Like, it
Arizona.
really did. Like it was like, holy shit, I actually seen this. And I've heard people talk about them, but I didn't put any like money into it. I believed in it, but I was like, yeah, whatever. And then, watch it fly over. And we were next to an airport. You know that Little Creek Airport is right by there. So I'm watching fucking airlines fly out of there nonstop. So I know what an airline looks like and what it sounds like that close to the base. Because I lived out there by Gate 5 of fucking Little Creek, which the airport's right over there.
Yeah, which there's different sounds to that because there's certain aircraft that fly out of there that aren't on a list.
Oh, yeah. That's like the Jan F flights out of McCarran. And my mom told me about those flights. She worked as an account like comptroller at McCarran in Las Vegas, and she's seen those flights. She all that shit.
I was stationed out of Little Creek, and the flights. There's some flights that are listed, and they don't sound like normal flight.
Yeah. No, and I'm used to the hovercrafts. You know what I mean? Like I'm used to all those sounds over there. And it was like no sound whatsoever. And I know you can make stuff like silent, but I mean this was awfully silent with the lights that were on it.
So it was pretty big, right?
Yeah, it was decent size. Like I said, at the time I didn't have triangulation, but the best I could see because it was just very quick.
That's interesting. I mean, man, I've never seen one of those, but I've heard lots of stories of people saying that. Lots.
Right, like we're saying, there is, like rational explanations, but that was one of them I couldn't explain to myself and looked. Take it as it is.
Okay. Well, that's a pretty interesting story. I guess that would be a UFO in a sense, right?
UAP.
Yeah, well, that's the new terminology because they want to get away from UFO.
And I know the military flies aircraft. You know what I mean? Like, if everybody wants to believe that we're not flying advanced technology, that's like burying your head in the sand. I mean, they just announced the SR-72. The SR-72 after they retired the 71 has had pictures out now. So, that's SR-71 was came out in the 50s with the U-2 and shit.
Yeah.
And they retired it in the 90s, late 90s?
I thought that was 2000. Such a cool thing. I mean, that's like, that was the jet that they modeled the X-Men jet after.
Yeah.
In the comics and everything.
And the SR-72 they're talking about, it's going to be unmanned, so it can go faster.
So it's a fucking drone.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Well, if you think about it, the F-35 and F-22, it's limited by what the human can handle.
Yes.
Both of those aircraft can turn and do way more than. God damn it! There we go.
So was it kind of like these?
Than what
Very
the human
similar,
body
yeah.
can handle.
What is it?
Oh, he was
I
showing
have a
the picture. What we were talking about, the wing.
Oh,
These
wow.
like
It was almost exactly like that. Yeah.
And they had blue lights, not red, not green, not white.
No, none of that,
No
dude.
orange, red, or anything.
Nope.
Huh.
I know the port running lights and the strobe lights.
I asked that because that's kind of letting credence to what you saw because it's not an aircraft that we would use because the whole world uses red, green, and white.
And Thumper knows that it's illegal to turn those off. Like you got to have those on.
Yeah,
like that's a FAA violation.
Even underway, you have to do that. Even if
very few times I've actually seen those turned off, and that's actually in a combat aerial area. So the whole area has to be considered a combat zone. You can't turn those off unless you're in those zones.
Unless you're flying over Skinwalker Ranch like they do with all that shit the government does.
We could talk about that crap for another episode, fellas.
I don't even know about that, but
watch Skinwalker Ranch.
Afghanistan.
Look it up,
Afghanistan,
bro.
Iraq.
Some crazy stuff.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
We used to turn our ship lights off when you weren't supposed to.
Yeah. The military can do whatever they want to do. Plain simple.
I mean, Iraq, Afghanistan, we used to shut our lights off all the time over those countries when they were literally, combat zones. We own the skies. Nobody fucked with us. Like, we could literally fly anything we wanted, do whatever we wanted, and nobody would even question it.
We used
You
to
know?
hang nets. We used to hang nets to look like a fishing boat. We used to turn our lights off. We used to move lights and turn different ones on to make it look like we were smaller.
Oh yeah, deceptive lighting. Yeah, I remember
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Like deceptive
McHale's
lighting. I mean,
Navy.
you had
Yeah,
Down
we did
periscope.
it.
Down periscope. There we go.
I mean, you had fucking bleed air that would make it sound like a rainstorm above the water, so that way a submarine would think it was storming above them.
We
But it was
we eventually turned that off because they said it didn't work.
Bullshit.
It,
Yes, it
it
did.
actually worked. It actually worked. That's the
Little
thing.
Tate, do you have to go soon? Because you got class, right, bro?
Yeah, I got class coming up in like 20 minutes, so I need to like dump out of here. And
Okay, so
I mean, if you guys want to keep going, go ahead. I'm just gonna dump out. Like I have my stuff set up, but I need to dump out and get set up. So
Okay. So I think this would be a good time to end it. It was really great seeing you, Delp. I haven't seen you since what, fucking 1998 or 99.
Damn, that was a long time ago.
It's been a quarter of a century, bro. It's good to see you. I'm
Fuck
glad
yeah.
you're doing all
Thanks,
right.
man.
It's fun to talk to you again, man. Because I
Well,
remember my first New Year's. I spent it
oh
with
yeah.
I was on duty, and we were turning the lights off and on the pipe.
I don't think we were supposed to.
Huh?
I don't think we were supposed to.
I don't think you got in trouble for it.
Well, you're gonna get us in trouble now.
Oh, who cares? The ship's in the
Statute of
bottom.
limitations.
I was gonna say that ship's on the bottom of the ocean right now. Anyway,
Hey, that ship
Yeah.
is in Davy Jones's locker, sailor. You don't have to worry about that. It's in Davy Jones's locker with
Oh,
crabs
so,
and other sorts of beings, like the flying
yeah.
duck who wears a sock.
Yeah, I was trying to get on the last couple of weeks, but I was having technical difficulties trying to figure teams out. So
Hey,
All right, Rocky, take us out.
you can come on again and we can talk about crazy sea stories before we were on the five or whatever. I don't care.
hell yeah.
I mean,
You just got to answer the email.
yeah.
yeah, no shit.
What?
This is the fourth one I've sent you.
I've got like 16,000 emails. I couldn't get it to work. So I tried it on my iPhone, my iPad, and it's like, which damn teams do you download? I'd click on the link and then it wouldn't let me go. And I just got
You got to
fed
do
up.
the salt trick like the girls talk about on YouTube. That might make it work.
I had to get my girls to help me. So
Nothing wrong with that.
this new technology crap. We use Teams at work, but it's on the computer, and then I don't have a computer anymore.
All right. So I guess, Jay, are you good? We can ring out.
Take us home.
All right, fellas. From the Fifers to everyone else. Fifers departing.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.
Time.